Good morning, honorable members. We shall now have an opportunity for silent prayers and meditation. Thank you so much. Good morning, honorable members. We shall greet the Honorable, the Premier, in absentia, Dr. Popira Matuba. Greet all the MECs present here, the Leader of Government Business, Honorable Makamu, the Deputy Speaker in absentia. Let's greet the Chair of Chairs, Honorable Mokoni, the Deputy Chair of Chairs, Honorable Ngobeni, Chief Whip, Honorable Mokhonyana, the Deputy Chief Whip, Honorable Manama, the entire Whipari, receive our greetings. The Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Mapoulo, and all other honorable members from the left side, you are all greeted. The DA, UAT, Freedom Front Plus, you are all warmly greeted. Let me greet the HODs that are present today here and greet members in the gallery, but as well greet our followers by social media. Good morning. We must take this opportunity to make one announcement from the Speaker's desk. Honorable members are kindly informed that when the House was not sitting, the Honorable Speaker received a letter from the Department of Education requesting to table their revised annual performance plan. The request and revised APP were then referred to the Portfolio Committee of Education for consideration, to consider them when they're compiling their report for consideration and adoption to this August House. Thank you so much. We'll now proceed directly to item 2. Item 2, honorable members, the decision of the programming committee was to defer item 2 to 5 on the order paper to the ensuing sittings. Those items, item 2, it's motion without notice, Rule 145, notice of motion, Rule 146, statements by members, Rule 199, executive statements, Rule 200. All those items are referred to ensuing sittings. Item 6, are there any tabling of the committee reports and other reports? None. We'll then proceed directly to orders of the day, with the second reading debate, approval of the budget votes and schedule of the Limpopo Appropriation Bill 2026 B02 2026. 7.1.1 is consideration and adoption of the following report of the Portfolio Committee of Department of Cooperative Governance, Human Settlements and Traditional Affairs. The committee chair, Honorable Spuru.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. All protocol observed. I hereby move for the consideration and adoption of the 2026-27 annual performance plan and budget of the Department of CoGHSTA.
Thank you very much. Can I get a seconder to the report? Honorable Metle Ramhlula.
Thanks very much, Honorable Dr. Speaker. I am hereby seconding the presentation as made by the Committee Chairperson, Honorable Spur. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll now go to refer to the speakers list. In terms of the speakers list, we'll allow Honorable Mhlophe Mehloti Ethel to open the debate. You have 10 minutes. Your 10 minutes starts now, ma.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, the Premier in absentia, Leader of Government Business, Chief Whip and Deputy Chief Whip, members of the Executive Committee, Chair of Chairs and Deputy Chair of Chairs, Whip Harry. Good morning. Honorable Speaker, the South Africa that we are building together I rise today as Honorable Mehloti Ethel Mhlophe, a member of the African National Congress deployed in this August House. As we debate CoGHSTA, we must first speak about the South Africa we live in today. Our country and our province are places where people come to build a better life. Limpopo shares borders with Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Mozambique. For generations, our families have been linked by trade, culture, and kinship. Our towns in Musina, Polokwane, Giyani, Jenfes, and Lephalale reflects that history of movement and connection. Yes, our towns are growing. Yes, our municipality feels pressure of housing, water, and services. But the ANC believes the answer is not division. The answer is planning, order, and compassion. Our task is clear, Honorable Speaker. Protect and prioritize South African citizens. Strengthen our system so that no one is left behind. And uphold the dignity of every person who lives within our laws. A province that is managed well has room for both firmness and humanity. That is why CoGHSTA matters today. This is the department that builds towns, delivers homes, supports municipalities, and works with our traditional leaders, the space where all our people live. Honorable Speaker, today is the 30th of June. It is mid-year. On this day, communities across Limpopo ask a simple question. Is government working for us? Let this 30th of June be our answer. An answer of delivery, an answer of order, an answer that says District of Limpopo matters and every family deserves to live with dignity. Honorable Speaker, growth touches all 5 districts differently, and CoGHSTA must respond to each one. In Vembe, Musina is a gateway town. It needs strong planning of housing, water, and services so that residents are supported. In Capricorn, Honorable Speaker, Polokwane is the center of opportunity. We must plan ahead so that growth does not outspace services. In Mopani, towns like Giyani and Tzaneen need resilient infrastructure for farming communities and expanding settlement. In Sekhukhune, we must ensure that mining and rural villages receive fair attention to housing and municipal support. In Waterberg, Lephalale and Mkhalakwena are growing with industry. Planning must match that growth with homes and services. This annual performance plan is about managing that growth with care. It is about making sure municipalities are supported, projects move, and communities are included. Honorable Speaker, our people want 3 things: order, dignity, and to be heard. Order means fair housing list, transparent project, community oversight, and local people given first opportunity for work on local sites. Bylaws applied without fear or favor. Dignity means South African families receiving homes and services, traditional leaders, our Kutobere, the Hoshi, and Hosi treated as partners in land and development. No community living in fear or being pitted against another. Unity means we speak about our challenges without turning our neighbors into enemies. We solve problems together because a divided Limpopo cannot build, but a united Limpopo can. This budget delivers on that. It strengthens weak municipality, it restarts stalled housing project, it puts people at the center of planning. Honorable Speaker, to the people of Capricorn District, your service and your voice is in planning matters. The budget stands with you. To the people of Mopani, your town deserve recovery and growth with order. The budget stand with you. To the people of Sikukuni, your communities deserve to be seen and served. This budget stand with you. To the people of Vembe, you hold an important place in our province. You will be supported. This budget stand with you. To the people of Waterberg, your growth must be planned and sustainable. This budget stand with you. People of Limpopo, do not lose hope. We will govern with fairness. We will protect South African citizens first, and we will build a province where everyone can live with dignity under the law. Honorable Speaker, let us choose unity over divisions, delivery over delay, and hope over fear. Let us pass this CoGHSTA budget so that Capricorn, Mopani, Sikukuni, and Vembe and Waterberg can build homes, strengthen municipalities, and plan for the future with confidence. Working together will build one Limpopo, orderly, inclusive, and full of hope. Honorable Speaker, I thank you. Ndikholibua, ke a leboga.
Rolibuwa ngamanda bu Honorable Mhlophe. Let me take this opportunity to welcome the Honorable Premier. Premier, welcome. Dr. Popira Matuba, we are welcoming you, the Premier of the province, for being with us today. Let's proceed to the next speaker, Honorable Mahabu Lawrence Mapoulo is the next speaker. Honorable member, you have got 7 minutes for the debate.
No, thank you very much, Speaker and Dr. Makuru Pecha, and all honorable members and the progressive forces on my left, especially EFF, MPLs. Honorable Speaker, the department total allocation of 2026-27 stand at approximately 2.583 billion, a marginal rise of 0.38% on the previous year. This marginal rise is anti-revolutionary and counterproductive towards service delivery and developmental needs of our people, especially the poor communities. The tiny and insignificant 0.38% increase on the budget is proof that the government does not have a developmental agenda to change the lives of our people for the better. Of most shocking is the reduction of 8.42% in the integrated human settlement allocation, which remains the largest program. The housing backlog in Limpopo stands at approximately 96,495 units. With the current allocation, it could take decades to fully eradicate the backlog. The reduction of the budget on this program means that the housing provision backlog in this province will never be eradicated. It further implies that the housing project like Marapong, in the Palale and other affected areas will never be completed. The Premier said nothing about Marapong because she might be benefiting. This project will remain the elephant in the room until when? Honorable Speaker, can we get investigation reports prepared by the Special Investigating Unit and the Public Protector in respect of the Tubatse land matter, the funds deposited with VBS Mutual Bank, and the Talana project? Such reports cannot be swept under the carpet because the people of Limpopo need to know those reports entail that what would be consequence management to those implicated in the corruption. The people of Limpopo also need to be informed of developments in the court proceedings that flow from the findings of CoGHSTA Commission. The EFF will continue making noise about the provision of Mawoshi with the medical benefits until Jesus Christ comes, like all other politicians, as they benefit. Honorable Speaker, we implore upon the MEC to apply consequence management against officials implicated in financial misconduct, mismanagement, against officials implicated in financial misconduct, mismanagement, and irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure, and must take steps to recover any funds that were misappropriated. There is generally lack of application of consequence management in the provincial administration of Premier Popira Matuba. That is why we have repeat offenders who kept messing up over and over again because they know nothing will happen to them because of their political proximity. Honorable Speaker, the Premier must go and make noise at the contractors who are not performing like she does with the nurses in our hospitals. She will not confront them because they are the funders of the ANC conferences. Can the department present a mitigation plan and measures in this House on flagged material irregularities by Auditor General in the preparation of the department annual financial statement dating back to 2017-18 financial year? Honorable Speaker, the department must ensure that municipalities appoint suitable qualified Section 56 managers, including chief financial officers and planning managers who can perform their duties without permanent dependence on external consultants. Furthermore, the department must also work with municipalities to reduce their reliance on consultants for the preparation of compilation of annual financial statement. Honorable Speaker, the Premier, when she was addressing Salga Provincial Members Assembly in Tsanen Karibo 2024, remarked that dependency on consultants is costly and does not build sustainable capacity with municipalities, but dependency on consultants is still deeply entrenched. Now she has forgotten her statement during 2024. The reliance of consultants means that the department does not have internal capacity to compile and prepare financial statements when there are people in finance hired to handle such responsibilities. The people of Limpopo are not getting value for money because the taxpayers' money is being used to pay people for doing nothing. This is the direct consequence of CADA deployment. Honorable Speaker, temporary water tankering service to communities is not permanent solution. We need permanent water supply for communities that currently have no access to water. Having said that, it is safe to say that water tankering has become a looting opportunity for water mafias, including the ANC. Allegedly, they are the ones responsible for sabotaging and distracting of water infrastructure so that they continue milking resources from already ailing municipalities. We call upon the department to investigate this matter. It is tragic that some politicians are beneficiaries of water tankerings, which means they are water mafias themselves because they collude with criminals for financial gains. It is clear that we have a big problem in society. Those trusted with power use the very same power for self-enrichment. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We now proceed to Honorable Wilson Evelyn. Yeah. You have got 5 minutes, Honorable Wilson.
Thank you, Speaker. Today I come bearing gifts. This bottle is from the residents of Ward 2, Klipheuwel in Lepeli and Kumpi. They have actually asked me to ask you, the Premier and the MEC, to each have a drink of it in this house. It is the same water they have to drink. And yes, it is a water from a hole in the ground, which is the only access to water they have in the new section. Over 30 years into democracy, and despite years of promises, water out of holes in the ground, along with animals, is still the only chance of survival many of our residents have. What a crying shame. What this does highlight is the abject failures of our municipalities and the Limpopo government as a whole. Yes, we know, Speaker, that the Premier has asked for the establishment of water war rooms. In Lephalale, the letter from the MEC to the Council with regards to these war rooms, which was written on the 26th of January this year, only came before Council last week. With all due respect, clearly this House and its MEC are not taken seriously. The AG this week highlighted the crisis amongst municipalities in South Africa, and her report highlighted that both Thabazimbi and the Vembe district municipalities were severely financially distressed. Her report does not discuss unfunded municipalities, and at the last count we had 11 of our municipalities unfunded, Vembe and Thabazimbi included. Where there is no income, there is no services. Grants are insufficient to make a difference. Corruption continues to plague our municipality. Mole Mole has been an example of this. We have implored the AG to investigate further and to issue a certificate of debt to all the officials found to have participated in the 38 million rand botched landfill site tender, amongst others. This government insists that corruption will be fought and that perpetrators will be brought to book. But incredible lengths have been taken to protect the officials in Mole Mole in this matter. Speaker, housing has been a bone of contention with this committee for over 10 years. While at last there is a glimmer of hope that the Alto State and Marapong projects may actually soon see completion after all these years, the Shakota and Talana projects have stalled. This is an area of critical concern, but it is the one line item where the budget has been cut by almost 9%. It does not make sense. While our poor and vulnerable plead for better living conditions and a reasonable roof over their heads, the chances are becoming slimmer and slimmer with these budget constraints. However, the Traditional Institute's budget has increased by almost 15%. We appreciate and respect the Traditional Institutes, and we are extremely grateful for the order that Traditional Institutes' budgets must now be given in the form of grants. But the massive increase in this program does not assist the housing, infrastructure, backlogs, and municipalities that cannot deliver services. We have been given no idea what the grants for this program are and what restriction on these grants are, and it is concerning. There is absolutely no breakdown of budgets, line item in budgets provided to the committee on each program. So at this stage, the committee has absolutely no idea of what they are monitoring, if these budgets are feasible or acceptable. And overall, the presentation by the Department of CoGHSTA was not convincing and lacked details that were credible or critical. With this in mind, the DA rejects the budget. I thank you.
We will now Honorable Wilson, you are out of order. Firstly, you are crossing the floor, which is out of order. Honorable Wilson, you are out of order, and I want to request you to apologize. I want to request Honorable Wilson to apologize before she sits down for crossing the floor. No, but you crossed the floor.
My apologies for going to the ANC side of the floor, Chairperson.
You are not apologizing to go to the ANC. You are apologizing for crossing the floor. Can you apologize appropriately?
I did not cross the floor in front of the mace, Chairperson.
Honorable members, I think sometimes we want to be so creative and end up even going outside our own rules. Let us not try to be innovative or creative, because sometimes we'll really be out of order and we'll call you out of order. Thank you so much. We'll now proceed to allow the chair of the committee to come and close the debate. Honorable Champo Mahabu David Sipuru.
Honorable Speaker, Dr. Makoma Makurupech, and the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Tebo Mrovela in absentia, Your Excellency, Honorable Premier, Dr. Popira Matuba, the Chief Whip, Honorable Isop Mukonyana, and his Deputy, Honorable Rogers Manama, members of the Executive Council, members of the Portfolio and Standing Committees, and esteemed members of the Limpopo Provincial Legislature, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Speaker, today we woke up to the reality of the long much talked about March and March. We must say to our people in our province, like the founding father of the ANC and pioneer of African unity, former president of the African National Congress in Pixley, Kaisa Kaseme, succinctly put it in 2011. The demon of racialism must be buried and forgotten. It has shed among us sufficient blood. We are one people, end of the quote. Drawing inspiration from this noble quote, I call on South Africans to unite peacefully within the framework of the law, along government structures, to ensure that the country is orderly and just. And I'm convinced that both Honorable Mapoulo and Wilson are agreed with me on this score. Madam Speaker and honorable members, I would love to extend my appreciation to members of the Portfolio Committee on CoGHSTA for expressing their support for the annual performance plan and budget of CoGHSTA. This is a clear demonstration that honorable members are committed to strengthening municipalities, improving governance, and ensuring that local government fulfills its constitutional mandate. As and when we were undertaking oversight trips to Lephalale, both Honorable Mapoulo and Honorable Wilson were absent. Honorable Mapoulo because he was not feeling well at the time, and Honorable Wilson because she was nursing her mother, who unfortunately passed on. May her soul rest in peace. The reason I'm saying this is because what they are trying to put across is in conflict with what the members of the portfolio committee have agreed upon. They like to rhapsodize about things that were discussed and agreed upon in the portfolio committee. And they don't even acknowledge that the portfolio committee have assessed and identified gaps and recommended how to tackle the challenges. Anyway, I'll pardon them because one, Honorable Mapolo is my namesake, Makabo, and Honorable Sumale has just turned the corner, is now preaching unity in diversity. His contributions in the House are constructive, and we think we are going to have a lot of positives emerging out of his sudden change of attitude. Honorable Ham is always, we are not saying honorable members must not criticize, but Honorable Ham always come here. She will point out at defects where they exist and recommend possible solutions to address the challenges. We like that type of members, and we would encourage Honorable Male to keep the spirit. Don't worry, Honorable Paulo, today I won't chastise you for the reasons that I've alluded. The ANC vision of a better life for all is guided by the Freedom Charter, that there shall be housing, security, and comfort. We must acknowledge that the ANC government has cushioned the poor, though more still needs to be done. We need to ramp our efforts of restoring the dignity of our people and thereby improve their quality of life. Madam Speaker, just as a friendly reminder, the Department of Cooperative Governance, Human Settlements and Traditional Affairs is made up of 4 programs. 1 being administration, 2 human settlements, 3 cooperative governance, and the last one, traditional institution development. The department has developed an annual performance plan for all 4 programs and presented it to the portfolio committee. The portfolio committee then discussed and ultimately came to a determination to support the APP and budget. Because this budget will go a long way in addressing a lot of challenges that exist on the ground. On administration, the portfolio committee bemoans the decline in the percentage representation of women in senior management system since the 2022-23 financial year, and the representation of the youth and people with disabilities performing quite low during the past 5 years. Now that the department has advertised 8 positions and 65 graduate internships that closed at the end of April this year, and 58 posts that are closing on Friday, the 3rd of July, to address the overall strategic objective of the department. We hope that the department will seize the moment and address glaring inequalities that are inimical to equal access to job opportunities. The department has received an unqualified audit opinion with matters of emphasis. We are worried that the department has been on unqualified status for the past 10 years. We implore the department to work doubly hard to address the impediments to achieving a clean audit. The financial management services should assist in handling and dealing with issues raised by the Auditor General, including the in-house production of annual financial statements on human settlements. The budget underscores the commitment to deliver sustainable human settlements. Provision of houses is the practical expression of the will of our people as captured in the Freedom Charter. Ours is to accelerate the provision of houses to our people. The MEC for CoGHSTA does not blow his own trumpet. Indeed, you have delivered, Honorable MEC Makamo. During the 2025-26 financial year, the National Treasury allocated CoGHSTA an additional 200 million rand for human settlements program due to better performance of departmental conditional grant funding. Just in the current financial year, an additional 30 million rand was reallocated to Limpopo for the same reason. The department must expedite the process of building houses for the military veterans. Madam Speaker and honorable members, we have received positive feedback, contrary to what Honorable Apollo has said, and a lot of progress on Marapong commercial residential units, including the paving of internal streets and Alto State Jos Lovo integrated residential development projects. The department must adopt a plan to address the recurring issues that holds progress. The impact of numerous oversight visits, Honorable Wilson, by the Portfolio Committee on CoGHSTA was that the department and the Lephalale local municipality were forced to render refuse removal services and provide water through JoJo tanks and water tankers and install 10 ventilated improved P toilets and dispatch honeysuckers as an interim measure to address water and sanitation challenges while awaiting finalization of the wastewater treatment package plant and refurbishment of the PAL wastewater treatment plant. On the flip side of the coin, the Portfolio Committee is still awaiting feedback on its call for heads to roll and institution of disciplinary measures against officials involved in the delay of the Marapong CRU's project and relocation of beneficiaries to Alto State Jos Lovo Integrated Housing Development Project. We, however, Honorable Wilson, take solace from the fact that one of a serial non-performer in the department has decided
As you
to
conclude,
opt
Chair.
for early retirement upon hearing that we were coming for his ilk. Madam Speaker, on cooperative governance, just briefly, half of the municipalities in the province were using consultants to prepare their annual financial statements during the 2022-23 financial year. We note the vast improvement on the situation, as only 7 municipalities are still using consultants.
As you conclude, Chair.
Yeah, now Honorable Mapolo is trying to derail me. As I conclude, we have got plans to address the shortcomings. Tomorrow and Friday, we have summoned the municipalities of Waterberg to appear before the Joint Committee of CoGHSTA and Provincial Treasury for purposes of holding them accountable. And would invite Honorable Wilson and Honorable Paul to form part of the team so that together we help address the challenges. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate Chair of the committee. We shall now call upon the Honorable, the MEC for Department of Cooperative Governance, Human Settlements and Traditional Affairs, Honorable Makamu Baiskopo Rogers, to respond to the debate.
Thanks very much, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to our Premier, Dr. Popera Matuba, who always comes to the sitting even when she's not debating, also to listen to us as executive to respond to the issues as I will be doing it so now. Greetings to my colleague MECs, Chief Whip, Deputy Chief Whip, honorable members, and the chair and the committee of the Portfolio Committee on CoGHSTA. Honorable Speaker, I wish I could be able to respond to everything, but there are some of the things that does not worth responding to. But there is an issue of a water that somebody went to collect water, which we don't even have any evidence that that water is coming from Limpopo. But I can tell you, Honorable Premier, I'm aware that the rivers which are flowing around Limpopo has got a challenge of asbestos. And already there is a project which is running in that community with the MRE about the awareness of the water which is contaminated with asbestos. And you know very well that this department has gone to Sishiho and removed, Honorable Mapole, all asbestos roofs, and we are busy now in Palabora. Even the project that I'm talking about, it's more to clear the very same issue you are raising. So it's not something new to us to bring this water. We have seen it before, we have gone there ourselves before. So you don't have to bring water as if we don't know what's happening there. The Marapong issue. The Premier, having listened to your concerns and everybody's concerns, she was at Marapong CRU. And she could see the progress which Honorable Mapolo is aware about it, that we are concluding the project, which we accepted in this platform, that the project took long than expected. And I can assure you that that project will be concluded together with Alto State, as you mentioned, that the Premier will go and hand over. Obviously, once the Premier is invited, all of you will be invited to go and witness when the ANC-led government is delivering, when we have accepted that we do have challenges. Honorable Mapolo spoke about that Mahoshi does not have medical aid benefits. Maybe it's because you even excluded or decided not to talk about the increase, which is the best in the whole country, which was led by Premier Dr. Popera Matuba. The last time you had an increase of a particular percentage to almost 14%, it's only when in this house we were saying traditional leadership in this province will have a budget increased by 14%. And the Premier has done that, and we are going to make sure that that money is made as grants. Honorable Wilson, you asked this question even in the meeting. We clarified you. What is it that we want this money as a grant to our traditional councils? That they must, because it was not coming just from a blue, it was because of a constitutional court ruling that we will not be able to get, they are not allowed to levy communities. The Premier intervened, and we are saying all the 203 traditional councils in the province will be getting grants. We even outlined you, it will be for stationery. Even the usage, we explained to you that they will have to make requisition and get to be approved, because that is a voted money, it will have to be audited. The use of consultants. Honorable Mapura, Honorable Wilson, I must indicate that in this province we have got 27 municipalities. Currently, 17 municipalities are preparing their annual financial statement in-house. They don't use consultants. We have already met with mayors and MMs last week, Honorable Mawai, trying to see how do we support them to further reduce the use of consultants. So we are on course, we are delivering on this matter. The ANC Act, You speak about the letter that we wrote in January to request all the 10 water service authorities to have the water war rooms. And in Limpopo was not affected. The leadership of the ANC intervened, and now the war room in Limpopo have been started. Myself, Premier, and the current mayor, and the water boards were there to make sure that the people of Limpopo, the Premier herself, went to Matimba Power Station and looked at the pipeline, which was denying people of Marapong water. And it has been resolved. People are receiving water now. I'm not so sure why you were selective to talk about that. I don't know where we are using permanent water tankers in this province. They were there in Mukalakwena, they were eradicated some time ago. I don't know as what is it. But what is worrying is also that the Premier might be benefiting in a project called Marapong. I can assure you that that project, even it's a project that has been long. There is nothing to benefit except that we should be able to do the people of Marapong to get their houses. I don't want to say much. I think I must accept the guidance we are given by Honorable Mushope, that this government understands that Musina is found in the Musina Bay Bridge corridor. We are no longer looking at only a transportation, Honorable Matibe. We are incorporating the work of the SEZ together with the corporate governance. Hence, we are also doing projects in that municipality for bulk infrastructure so that people who go there should not necessarily go to the Bay Bridge only, but also to have houses and everything, amenities that are required for economy, because you can see Musina, it's overstretched because there are people who are always passing through, but staying some, but looking for jobs. So that project, Honorable Mutrope, of infrastructure development, we are helping from CoGHSTA point of view. But we were there in Skukune, Rosenekal, we were there in Musina, we were there in Vila Vila, we are there in Falvater. So all these projects we are doing to make sure that we support our municipalities. And we want to thank the Portfolio Committee and promise that the audit outcome of stagnant on and qualified, we are busy working on it. Premier, I don't want to say much. You might be welcoming a new clean audit not so long as we finish the financial year. Thanks very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate MEC for the response. We shall now move quickly to 7.1.2, consideration and adoption of the following report of the Portfolio Committee of Education. Committee Chair, Honorable May Christian Nkakaring Rakhwale.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to present the 2026-2027 APP and the budget for the Department of Education for consideration and adoption by the House. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can we get the seconder? Honorable Nkonya. Oh, Honorable, no, not, I've recognized.
Thanks very much, Speaker. Thanks very much, Honorable Speaker.
Over to you. Yeah,
Thanks very much, Speaker.
Right.
I rise to second the proposal as moved by the Honorable the Chairperson of Education, Mayor Rakhwale. I thank you, Speaker.
Siyabonga. I have seen that even Honorable Moss wanted to second. Thank you so much. I'm happy with the committee, the manner there is a cohesion in the committee. Thank you so much, honorable members. We shall now refer to the speakers list. In terms of the speakers list, Honorable Deli Jemina Machomani. She's opening the debate. Honorable Machomani, your 10 minutes starts now.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity Let me forward my greetings to you, Honorable Speaker Dr. Makrupeche, the Honorable Premier of the Province, Dr. Popi Ramatuba, Leader of the Business, Honorable Chief Whip of the Majority, Honorable Mkhonyana and the Deputy Chief Whip, MECs present today, honorable members of the Provincial Legislature, guests in the gallery, all protocol observed. Lochan, Dumelang. Honorable Speaker, in Limpopo, education is survival. For a child in Vembe, Capricorn, Mopani, Sikukuni, or Waterbeck, school is not just about books. It is about a meal, safe transport, a toilet with water, and a teacher who has the tools to teach. My today's debate speaks to that reality. As Paul Ferreira said, I quote, education either functions as an instrument which is used to facilitate integration of the younger generation into the logic of the present system and bring about conformity, or it becomes the practice of freedom, close quote. Members, life based on development, and that developing and growing is life. If we describe this view into perspective of education, we can sum up that education in the all-round development of an individual's personality. Honorable Speaker, the department have been allocated a total budget of 45.8 billion. This total allocation reflects an increase of 2.3 billion, or 5.5% from the 43.4 billion, which is an amended adjustment appropriation for the 2025 and 2026 financial year. As the ANC believes that education is the cornerstone of a capable state and a liberated people. As President Tambo taught us, I quote, a nation that does not educate its children is a nation that mortgages its future. This budget is our mortgage payment of the future in Limpopo. The Portfolio Committee on Education met with the department on sole mandate of scrutinizing the annual report and its performance during the year under review. It is for this teaching that the department seeks to nurture and inculcate values that bind the education family and create an ethos of respect, discipline, and hard work at all levels. Honorable Speaker, it has been noted that teenage pregnancy remains a major barrier to education in Limpopo, which consistently ranks among the province with the highest teen pregnancy rates in South Africa. The impact is felt across the learners, schools, and communities. The Portfolio Committee commented that it will be very much important for the department to have more education outreach on teenage pregnancy in the Vembe district, considering the high level of teenage pregnancy among learners. In the same vein, the report indicates that there are more male principals than females and more aged principals than young ones. When more male principals than females are in the post, it reflects a broken pipeline, not a lack of qualified women. It is high time our people understand that women empowerment is about giving women and girls equal rights, opportunities, resources, and a voice to make decisions about their own lives. When that happens, the whole communities, economies, and countries do better. In the budget speech, the MEC indicated that the department, through ECD resources, will support outdoor and indoor play equipment, such as jungle games to enhance learning through play, Madam Speaker, we welcome the continued priority on early childhood development and foundational learning. The focus on grade 3 to grade 3 reading and numeracy is critical. If a child cannot read for meaning by grade 4, we have lost them. The plan to train more ECD practitioners and bring more centers into the subsidy net will help rural communities. You cannot build a house without a foundation. The expansion of early childhood development and the plan to professionalize ECD practitioners will pay dividends in 10 years' time, which is what the ANC-led government planned as per manifesto. We also note the increased allocation to learner transport and nutrition for many children in Limpopo, Messina, and rural areas. The only meal they get is at school. The only way they get to school is the bus. Cut that, and you cut attendance. For noting, honorable members, science shows that life is a story for which the beginning sets the tone. That makes the early years of childhood a time of great opportunity, but also great risk. Children's brains are built moment by moment as they interact with their environment. In the first few years of life, more than 1 million neutral connections are formed each second, a space never repeated again. The quality of a child's early experiences makes a critical difference as their brain develop, providing either strong or weak foundation for learning, health, and behavior throughout life. The role of technology has become one of the most important issues in the 20th century. Electronic learning has revolutionized the way teaching and learning takes place at almost all levels of the education. Let's keep it sake. The global coronavirus disease 2019 COVID-19 pandemic has challenged both learners and educators to rapidly transform and adopt more than non-contact ways of education delivery to fully exploit the potential affordances technology offers. E-learning has emerged as a core of revolution. While e-learning is not completely new phenomenon, with already generous coverage of its implementation, particularly in high school and tertiary level of education, the data of literature and studies on the adoption and implementation of e-learning in primary school is conspicuous. Oral Speaker, the committee made it clear to the department that this budget must not just be a financial plan, but a reflection of commitment to the values and resolutions set forth by the African National Congress to build a cohesive, inclusive, and prosperous society. There is a strong evidence that high-quality infrastructure facilities, better instruction, improve learner outcomes, and reduce dropout rates, among other benefits. As the country strives for excellence in education, it is imperative to recognize the pivotal role that school infrastructure play in shaping the future of its learners. The APP 2026-2027 financial year show that all the standard output indicators under this program were reported in the second quarter of the financial year. However, the committee recommended that the department must report on the infrastructure project quarterly. Further, the committee recommended that the department must implement project plans and commitments made by SOPA, by the Premier, and the budget speech by the department as MEC quarterly. For example, the construction of new school at Bendo and Zanin Secondary School. Madam Speaker, during the year under review, the department needs to focus on key strategic priorities which align to the new growth, national development plan, and medium-term strategic framework. There are circumstances that impact on education in Limpopo, and that they present a set of challenges that affect schooling, quality and management provision, and the cost of financial education. As I conclude, Madam Speaker, the Portfolio Committee will continue to pedal down its work so that all schools truly can be hubs of the communities, where learners and families are connected to the resources and services they need. We need all on the same team, and because we serve the same families, if a child is hungry, lacks stable housing, or lives in an unhealthy condition, their bandwidth for living will diminish. Honorable Speaker, let this report not be about the department. It should be about the Mvuo in grade 1 in Toyandong who deserve to read. It should be about Tebo in grade 12 in Marble Hall who wants to study engineering but has never touched a science lab. If we fund them properly today, Limpopo will not beg for jobs. We will create them. As a disciplined member of the African National Congress, serving in the Portfolio Committee of Education, I support vote 3, and we will hold the MEC accountable for every rent. Ngiyathokoza ke leboga. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We shall now call upon Honorable Molapo Walter Samuel. Your 7 minutes starts now.
Ke go leboge Mospikara wa Motšwaoswere. Greetings to honorable members, to the leader of opposition, Commissar Mapoulo, to our guests in the gallery, honorable MECs available in the house, and all members, and the honorable Premier. Thanks, Honorable. Honorable Speaker, the EFF is concerned about the lack of improvement of electronic systems which contributes towards efficiency and effectiveness in carrying out the department's mandate of providing quality basic education. This is concerning because ultimately it affects the provisioning of, among others, email addresses which should be provided to 3,619 schools in the province. To date, Honorable Speaker, the department has not provided connectivity to schools to ensure learners benefit from using technology for learning and ensuring that the future and quality of teaching and learning are secured through attraction of young teachers. Young teachers are exposed to intense technology and advanced technological systems which they must use to teach in schools. The lack of technology thereof will result in brain drain, with young teachers migrating to other provinces with the advanced technology in their schools. Honorable Speaker, the EFF is concerned about more old age principals than young ones and more male principals than female ones, and that could pose a risk to institutional memory and leadership skills at various schools. All teachers, including the principals, must be encouraged to exceed the system with reasonable packages in such a way that their pension monies and benefits will not be affected. Honorable Speaker, Vembe District is having a high level of teenage pregnancy in most schools. How many education outreach programs on teenage pregnancy did the department conduct during the period under review? A high rate of learner pregnancy was reported in Collins Shabani, Musina municipality, and this included out of school youth. The most affected area are located near borders, resulting in increased exposure of learners to abuse, while some learners were also from child-headed households. Now, how many sexuality education programs did the department conduct during the year under review through life orientation, life skills subjects, which are age appropriate? Honorable Speaker, the department must also ensure that the supply of teachers meets the demand and teacher development is provided to ensure that the teacher's subject content knowledge and methodology are up to standard. What is the department doing with the ongoing changes of life orientation and skills educators in schools, which make it difficult to effectively implement the aforementioned programs? Honorable Speaker, the EFF is gravely concerned about the number of schools teaching pure mathematics but without sufficient educators. When the schools introduces mathematics or any other subject as part of its curriculum, the department must provide teachers as well as learner and teacher support material to teach such subjects. The allocation of 39.7 million grant for learners with severe profound intellectual disabilities, a drop in the ocean, as it may not have a significant impact on this category of students. This means that the government does not take the educational needs of children with disabilities serious, and therefore they remain marginalized. Can the department provide us with a report on planned construction process of 2 new early childhood development centers, which are Majadi Chukudu and Ramoswane ECD centers? Honorable Speaker, infrastructure in most schools need refurbishment and upgrading, while other schools needed construction of new buildings. What is the plan of the department to refurbish and to construct these new schools? There are challenges of dilapidated infrastructure at Mulweji Secondary School, at Lekholwane Primary School in Makhatle, poor performance at Naledia Meso Secondary. What is the department doing about these challenges? Furthermore, the EFF is gravely concerned about the decrease in learners taking mathematics. This is tragic as mathematics is backbone of daily life, shaping everything personal finance to critical decision making. Its application is largely responsible for economic growth of our country, as it equips us with problem solving and analytical skills needed to solve real world problems. The handling of merging of schools by the department is chaotic and divisive, to say the least. The department pit communities against each other in the clumsy manner in which they handle the merging of schools. In some instances, Honorable Speaker, schools with big enrollments but under category of merging get swallowed by schools with smaller schools with no infrastructure. Honorable Speaker, the EFF is concerned that the department was not implementing Section 12, capital letter A of the South African Schools Act 84 of 1996 at Hlomela Secondary as announced by the MEC in 2022. Another measure which was not handled properly is the one involving Letlakana Primary and Soka Primary in Mars at Ramashashan. Letlakana has higher enrollment than Soka, but they were forcing Letlakana to be swallowed by Soka. We have since written a letter to MEC in this regard, but typical MEC, she never bothered to respond. That is what, there was no response from the MEC. Now, as I conclude, Honorable MEC for Education.
You must conclude.
And the Premier as well as the MEC for Treasury. This House and the province was told recently that the payment to the suppliers is made within 30 days. Now, the EFF is receiving a number of complaints from companies that carry out the sub that 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 that, that, that from companies that do the construction, do the subcontracting work. Yes, that do the subcontracting work. You need to listen. We received, we can I be protected, Honorable Speaker?
Yeah,
Can I be protected?
Order
Yeah,
members.
thanks. Yeah, we receive complaints from companies that do the subcontracting work throughout the province.
Honorable member.
Those companies having done the work, it will seem these companies maybe, like Honorable Mabule said, maybe they are then funding the project of African National Congress, because these companies complain that they are not getting paid. Once the government pays the main contractors, then the main contractors disappear with money, leaving a number of people in the province who are doing work without being paid.
Honorable members, order.
We have the examples of companies that received that performed the work by Christmas, as big as December, and they were not being paid by the main contractors. So, Honorable Premier, and Honorable MEC for
Honorable member, can you listen to the speaker? You know, can you switch off your mic? Honorable member, you said as you conclude, after you have completed your speech, you now come up with other issues that create chaos in the House. Your time is over. Can you take your seat, Honorable member? Thank you very much. I'll now call upon Honorable Smale Jacobus Frederick. 5 minutes.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. As the biggest spender of the provincial budget, the expectations for this department to deliver is extremely high. One of the key outcomes of the department is to ensure that we deliver on our education mandate to deliver quality education to our learners. As one of the biggest provinces in the country, one would say delivering 43,000 bachelor passes is just that. But I want us to look a little bit deeper and ask ourselves, do we have a department that is responsive, monitors failure, and act against transgressors? The answer is simply, we don't. And let me explain to you why. On the 12th of May, 2025, the Department of Labor issued out a directive to schools that are in contravention of Section 9 of the Occupational Health and Safety Act. And in this notice, the department required the Department of Education to act on the poor conditions that affect thousands of learners and hundreds of educators. The department does not react, and when the Department of Labor decides to start closing schools down, which not only affects our learners' exams, but also where they should go the next day and how, the department reacts as if it has only received the notice yesterday. Where are our circuits? Where are our districts? And who gets to be held accountable for nearly 60 schools that were forced to close their doors because of unsafe, inhumane conditions? We are extremely proud to stand on this stage and say we have done away with pit latrines, a move that the Democratic Alliance from day one supported. So what does the Department of Education do? As far back as 2022, they demolished toilets and replaced them with mobile toilets. A good idea until you start looking deeper. 1 toilet per 80 learners. After the second day, children don't want to use these toilets because they are being cleaned and serviced once a week. Educators and learners using the same toilet. I visited these schools, and in one case, some of the parents are taking out learners to other schools because they don't want to expose their learners to these conditions. We spent between 2,500 and 3,000 rand per month for one of these mobile toilets. In some cases, we have spent up to 500,000 rand leasing or renting these mobile toilets. We could have built state-of-the-art sanitation facilities already at most of these schools. Furthermore, the department promised to build schools but failed to deliver. Let me take you to the learners from Mpalana Primary School, Chunispoort, Capricorn District. On the 21st of November 2019, approval was granted in terms of Section 12 of the South African Schools Act, number 84 of 1996, to build and improve the school under EMIS number 9922015504, and the department failed to deliver. Learners under Tiani Community Authority have written to the department earlier this year, when the school year started, requesting for scholar transport for nearly 60 learners who have been forgotten by the system, all because the department is unable to monitor and be responsive to the needs of our learners. It is also our hope that this budget find expression in also improving the scholar transport program and nutrition program that are both pivotal and to improving the performance of our learners. There continues to be far more too many motor vehicles accidents involving scholar transport, too many scholar transport vehicles that are not roadworthy, and scholar transport vehicles that infringe on our traffic laws. The audit of scholar transport vehicles to ensure their suitability to transport our learners, visibility, traffic policing, and the suitability of that transport of those learners must take center stage. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, not enough is being done to ensure the fulfillment of the department's mandate with respect to education in our province, and the budget's resources needs to speak to that. Currently, we believe that the budget is not sufficient enough to deal with that crisis, and we cannot support it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Small. Honorable Moss. We have 3 minutes, Honorable Moss.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier, esteemed members of the Executive Councils, leaders of opposition parties, members of this House and guests. Honorable Speaker, the Freedom Front Plus recognizes that education is one of the most important responsibilities of government. We welcome sincere investment in learners, but we cannot support a budget that celebrates allocations while schools on the ground remain unfinished, unsaved, or unused. The department has tabled a budget of 45.821 billion for the 2026-27 financial year. Of this, 34.456 billion, or 75%, goes to compensation of employees. Educators are essential, but when 3/4 of the budget goes to salaries, this House must ask, how much actually reaches the classroom, the learner, the textbook, the desk, the laboratory, and the school toilet? Die Vryheidsfront Plus glo in gehalte onderwys, moedertaalonderrig, sterk skoolbeheerliggame, finansiële dissipline en aanspreeklikheid. Onderwys moet kinders en gemeenskappe dien, nie bureaukrasie, politieke slagspreuke of mislukte kontrakteurs nie. 'n Kind kan nie leer in 'n stelsel waar besluite ver van die skool geneem word, maar die gevolge daagliks deur die leerders, ouers en onderwysers gedra word nie. Honorable Speaker, the department speaks proudly about infrastructure. It allocates 1.873 billion to the education infrastructure grant and says it will provide a decent learning environment for learners. But then we must raise the shameful case of Rivoni School for the Blind. A new campus for Rivoni School for the Blind was reportedly meant to serve about 170 blind learners, but the project has stalled. Costs have risen to nearly 198 million, and the new campus stands unused and incomplete. Reports state that the learners are still using poor temporary facilities, while the new infrastructure remains unavailable to them. That is not transformation, that is failure. The department allocates 933 million for learners and teacher support material, 624 million for scholar transport, and 100 million for e-education. These are important areas, but tablets meant for schools lack safety, electricity, connectivity, trained teachers, and proper maintenance. Transport means little if routes are unsafe. Infrastructure budgets means little if schools like Ravania remain unused. Agbare Speaker, ons standpunt is duidelik. Bestee geld aan leerders, nie aan bureaukrasie nie. Voltooi skole voordat nuwe projekte aangekondig word. Beskerm moedertaalonderrig, respekteer ouers, beveilig skole en doen verantwoording vir elke rand. I thank you.
Dankie. Will now allow Honorable Christian Nkakaring Rakhwale, the chair of the committee, to close the debate.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Chief Whip, the Whipari, the Deputy Chief Whip, the Chair, Deputy Chair, the Honorable the Premier, Dr. Popira Matuba, Leader of Government Business, and all MCs present here. Honorable members, good morning. This good morning also includes this side. Madam Speaker, education is not an expense. It is the most powerful investment we can make to South Africa's future. If we get this 2026-2027 APP and budget right, we break the cycle of poverty. If we get it wrong, we condemn another generation to unemployment and inequality. This budget vote is affording us an opportunity to holistically look at the department's capacity to deliver on its mandate. This year's total budget of 45.8 billion. For this reason, it is essential that those who are trusted with the lives of the children and the future of our province are people of integrity, people with a vision, and will utilize the budget responsibly, thinking of the little child in a deep rural school somewhere in Butlokwa, Divani, Masemula, Dan, and the rest. Chair of Chairs. As the committee, we really welcome the report, and this is an indication that the NC Limpopo has strong vision of healing the wounds of the past while working for a brighter future for all. On public ordinary schools members, the NDP is not just a document, it is a plan for every no-fee school in regions of Limpopo, and it asks one simple question: what kind of schools will Limpopo have in 2030? In order to achieve the priorities that are mentioned in the NDP 2030 and LDP, this program received much of the budget. The purpose of this program is to provide public ordinary schools with education from grade 1 to 12 in accordance with the South African School Act. Madam Speaker, the committee noted significant progress in this program. Some notable achievements include appointment of educator assistants, infrastructure development, and school construction. Despite the progress made, public ordinary schools in Limpopo still face challenges that need to be addressed. We talk of Limpopo has consistently had one of the lowest maths participation rates in the country. In respect of NSC, yes. Grade 12's road math versus math literacy. That is a problem for STEM, bursaries, and jobs. There's a need to increase and encourage the intake of MST subjects to impact on the growth of country in this province.
And there's a need to support technical schools with consumables and materials required for their practical classes. And also the need for the staffing of special schools with relevant personnel to enable them to service learners with special needs. On public special schools, the allocation for the public special schools education program is increased by 5.8% in 2026-2027. The purpose of this program is mainly to provide public special schools educations in special schools in accordance with the South African Schools Act and White Paper 6 on special needs education. Building inclusive education and training system. Honorable MEC, as a member of the ANC, I will be failing in my objective assessment of the performance of the Department of Education if I do not consider that inroads have been made in the delivery of some quality education to our learners. It is through education that individuals acquire skills that makes them employable and equip them to access opportunities that improve their lives. Producing quality learners require a quality learning environment. We need quality schools with adequate infrastructure, enough classrooms, suitably qualified educators, sanitation, electricity, water, and sporting facilities. Early this year, we celebrated the Riboni School for the Blind for achieving an impressive 100% pass rate in the 2025 senior exams for grade 12 learners, despite very limited resources and poor facilities. Honorable Magolwa, it's important that when they lend you shoes, you must be sure that it's your size. And I'm saying this because you are not sitting in this portfolio committee. They just gave you the documents to come and make a presentation. And all the things you are raising there, your colleague is agreeing with us that the department is really making strides to resolve the issues. And you come here and stand here wearing the shoes that is as small as size, and we say all those things that you are saying. Now, is it shocking for Honorable Smiley and Honorable Moss for saying they are not supporting the budget? Particularly because we called the MEC on all the issues that they've raised here together with the department. They were able to clarify on a number of issues that they have raised here. And they were even able to share with us the mitigation factors in order to resolve all the issues. So coming here and saying you are not supporting the budget, stating those reasons that the department was able to give you information in detail. So I'm shocked, honestly. So on the Riboni Schools for the Blind, you were there, Honorable Moss, when the MEC indicated that they are appointing a contractor. And also, we were there in the joint portfolio committee as well, and I think I was able to share with the portfolio committee that the IDT was indicating that at any time, the contractor for the Riboni School of Blind will be resuming work. So coming here and say you are not adopting the budget, you are not supporting, it must not be because of the issues, it must be because of your own reasons. This should inspire all young people that have lost hope in a brighter due to obstacle surroundings. As the committee recommended that by procuring adaptive devices, mobility aids, we affirm the Freedom Charter's promise that all shall enjoy equal human rights. Ensuring learners with profound disabilities are not merely accompanied but celebrated and as integral members of our educational community. Learner mitigation and scholar transport, learner migration, is a country-wide phenomenon which relates to the voluntary movement of large numbers of learners from one school to another to gain knowledge and skills through improved learning opportunities. However, recent developments in education show that learner migration patterns either are driven by a lack of local access to educational opportunities or by the motivation to gain access to educational opportunities that are perceived to be better than those offered by schools attended. Madam Speaker, it is recommended by the committee that the Department of Education should capacitate principals accordingly. Secondly, learner migration is an established phenomenon and parents have the legal right to take their children to any school of their choice. Thus, we recommend that a coherent system of policies should be developed by the Department of Basic Education to manage learner migration. Learners who migrated to the new school struggles with the distance of the schools from their homes, which impact transportation. However, some of the learners' immigration are still result of mesh schools Mulwezi Secondary School learners are traveling long distance to school and pass through a bush as a result of mesh schools. On documented learners were saying, Madam Speaker, Limpopo province borders 3 countries, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and Botswana. The province experiences a growing influx of learners from these countries who seek education in South Africa. Over the past decade, there has been a notable increase in the admissions of learners from other provinces and neighboring countries. Currently, immigrant learners account to 1% of the total enrollment, which is 18,000 learners. The status of being an undocumented learners present a myriad of learning challenges to the affected learners. Schools in Limpopo, particularly in the rural areas and those areas along the borders, have 1 million either undocumented who are children of Africans or children born from non-South Africans and parents. Members, let us speak honestly about something that affects jobs, schools, clinics, and safety in Limpopo, across South Africa, illegal immigration. We are a nation built by migrants. From the mines to the farms, people have come here to build. South Africa is also bound by the constitution and international laws to protect refugees and asylum seekers. That is who we are. Nonetheless, being a humane country does not mean being a lawlessness country. Illegal immigration, people entering, staying or working in South Africa without legal documents must be managed. When the law is not enforced, ordinary South Africans pay the price. The NC-led government will not turn children away from class. However, we will also ask teachers to do the impossible with no resources. The department will lobby other stakeholders to improve on securing borders, fix home affairs, and fund school properly. So every child, South African or documented migrant, gets quality education. For undocumented South Africans learners, the lack of birth certificate or identity document often results from systemic issues such as home birth delays in civil registration, parents without IDs, and other pecuniary documents, among others. Yeah, I can see my time is already gone. On infrastructure, Honorable Speaker, I think we are happy with what the department is doing in terms of making sure that it better the infrastructure. So in conclusion, the committee, having considered the 2026-2027 APP and budget of the Department of Education, recommends to the House to accept the report and that the department should comply with the recommendations of the committee as indicated above. Madam Speaker, I therefore move on behalf of the committee that this report be adopted as a report of the House. So, Honorable Mahulwa, as we move around attending to contractors who are not being paid or attended, we are busy educating the learners in Limpopo. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Chair. Ra leboga. We will now request and call upon the Honorable, the MEC, Honorable Bumme Maureen, Mabongoli Rulu Ramakanya, to respond to the debate. Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and Machironi, to the Honorable Premier, colleagues, MECs, all the chairperson of our committee, the honorable members of the committee, and the members of the legislature, the Honorable Chief Whip and Whipari, the Chair of Chairs, my one, and the Deputy Chair of Chairs, the HOD, and all officials. Honorable Speaker, let me start by appreciating the debate that has been given by the members of the committee. Let me also greet the leaders of the opposition parties present. We meet today as we close the June month, as we account as the Department of Education for the transformation since defeating the apartheid tactics, as we celebrate the class of 76, the Black Power, which forced development to happen in the sphere of education. Honorable Speaker, we accept that we should do more programs on the teenage pregnancies, on the gender, which is not balancing. We want to confirm that all the schools in Limpopo have got official email addresses. They have got GPS coordinates. You can locate us there. And finally, the Premier has launched an online registration platform to show that our schools are indeed connected. On the special school, we can report, Honorable Premier, and to you, Honorable Speaker, that in the special schools, we are giving them equipments for skills subject. We have just bought a tractor to Mahlasedi School. We have given all our special school stoves for baking, gardening tools, sewing machines, and on the LTSM, we have given them Braille Note Touch, Howcam, and Connect 12. You will know that the laptops we are giving to all the schools. On infrastructure, Honorable Speaker, we have got the 5 PSPs or engineers who have just concluded a report. I'll be receiving the report. And this is because in 2023, this legislature supported us to launch as the department a year of infrastructure. After the 2 years of opening schools, we have noticed that it has just been a drop in the ocean. Hence, we have then got these PSPs to do a second conditional assessment to get a knowledge of how far are we with our infrastructure, and with this we'll be able to deal with the issues on infrastructure. We can just ask a question to say, who are you, the Department of Labor? If you are part of the government and you do not talk to us as your sister department, as the Department of Education, but you rush to batter our schools, you rush to inflict fear to community members. These are tactics that have been defeated by the class of 1976. Talk to us. If we are one government, we can build a Limpopo together. And I can confirm, Madam Speaker, that the Department of Labor had us and has since agreed to notify us 3 days before they go to the schools, and will work a good approach on how to address our schools. And I think the department can confirm that all of you, when you supported us with the budget, we have employed teachers, we have got a responsive audit, and we are paying all our infrastructure and all our business people 30 days. We are complying. Check the Treasury report. I can confirm, Honorable Speaker, that the issues that have been said of the 30% construction mafias that delays infrastructure, it is not our responsibility. Madam Speaker, we are responding. Our budget, you'll remember that our budget has responded. I think the Freedom Plus was saying our budget is responding to the issues that you have said, and I'm happy that even the Bella is playing a role here in this house, because all languages are promoted. And I think we can confirm that scholar transport is not a choice, but is a must. And when we say, Honorable Smali, not enough, it means something is being done. Thank you so much for that confidence. Madam Speaker, we debate when the learners of Limpopo joined other provinces to participate in the CoGHSTA in Pretoria, where we have got more than 16 schools representing ourselves, and in that it shows that our learners have gone out to showcase the talents that they have, so that then they can be able to participate. But we want to say to you, we have tools in our schools as laptops, as interactive boards. We have teachers to teach all the subjects. We are also saying, check our winter enrichment classes currently. They have got all the teachers there for all the subjects. No weapon formed against our learners will succeed, will defeat poverty, because we have even launched online. We want to thank the legislature for the support, the premier, the committee, and thank all the teachers, the officials, the district directors, and the circuit managers. That gives us good sleepless night, because the Department of Education is alive in Limpopo. Thank you.
Rolebuwa, MEC, thank you very much. Le ge le ne molato o bitša maiwane. We shall now move to item 7.1.3, consideration and adoption of the following reports of the Portfolio Committee of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, Committee Chair, Honorable Vokatuchelo Nechipepe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity, and greetings to the Premier, the Executive, the Chief Whip and the Whippery, and all members of the legislature. I rise here to present the 2026-2027 annual performance plan and budget for the Department of Public Works, Road and Infrastructure for consideration and adoption by the House.
Thank you so much. Any seconder? Honorable Piedi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the presentation made by Honorable Bunachifefe.
Thank you very much. 7.1, 7.13.2. 7.1.3.2, 2026-2027 Annual Performance Plan and Budget for Roads Agency Limpopo. Over to you, Chair.
Thank you once more, Madam Speaker. I rise again to present the 2026-2027 Annual Performance Plan and Budget for RAL for consideration and adoption by the House.
Seconder, Honorable Manama.
Thanks very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise on behalf of the African National Congress to support the consideration and adoption of the 2026-27 Annual Performance Plan and Budget for Road Agency Limpopo. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tate Rogers, another Rogers today. Kanyani, the Deputy Chief Whip.
The only Rogers.
The real one. Thank you. And I know Honorable MEC will argue that he is the real one. We shall now refer to the speakers list. In terms of the speakers list, we have got Honorable Majomani Makua Asnat, who's opening the debate. Your 10 minutes start now, Honorable Majomani.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, Dr. Maurina Makrupeja, the Chief Whip and the Whippery, Honorable Premier Maurina Dr. Popira Matuba Hunari, members of the Executive Councils, MECs, members of the provincial legislatures, MPLs, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and compatriots, I say greetings to you. Kgotsong bana beshu. Honorable Speaker, we have come to the end of the Youth Month, June, which we celebrated under the theme Reset at 50. The future calls. During this Jubilee celebration, we were reminded that June was a journey during which the youth of South Africa took their destiny into their own hands, with boldness, creativity, and purpose. This year, commemoration is a continuation of the leadership role that the youth displayed in 1976, when they delivered a knockout punch to the brutal apartheid regime and the system of Bantu education 50 years ago. On that bloodstained day, June 16, theirs was a contribution of South Africa political awakening and political struggle. This is an experience that shaped and strengthened our youth resolve to confront the triple challenges of inequality, unemployment, and poverty today. The youth stand out as tribalizers who are breaking barriers in different fields. Their stories, moments, and voices of perseverance are nothing short inspiring. They are unapologetical, committed to their cause, and unafraid to challenge outdated system. In honor of the youth, our country, the ANC calls on the government to embrace the value investing in their development, not as a moral imperative, but a strategic necessity for businesses, government institutions, and the society at large. We must celebrate, nurture and support them, not only in June, but throughout the year. The ANC further calls on our youth to build on the spirit and legacy of the courageous and principled youth of 1976. They had purpose and the courage of their convictions. Madam Speaker, the ANC welcomed the 2026-2027 budget of the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, DPWRI, and its entity, the Road Agency Limpopo, RAL, and dedicate it to the youth of our country. We believe that this budget will help us to indeed reset at 50. It will provide a fresh start, an opportunity to clear errors and return the situation to its correct path. As the ANC 2024 election manifesto put it, we must learn from the past, from mistake and setback, as we learn from achievements. It is therefore our view that through this budget, we will indeed reset and focus on the active role of the youth in shaping modern, sustainable South Africa, focusing on entrepreneurship, creation of better livelihood, health and well-being. Madam Speaker, the ANC is joyful that the budget of the DPWRI has increased by a whopping 485 million to 647 billion. The Roads Agency Limpopo, RAL, has also seen an increase of 510 million. Compared to the revised allocation during the 2025-2026 budget adjustment. This increase attests to the ANC commitment to invest and transform the infrastructure, construction, and maintenance sector in our country. This will help unlock economic development, support employment and industrialization, thereby creating opportunities for the youth. We want to see an expansion of the number of companies that are participating in the Contractor Development Program, CDP, increase from the current 36. This intervention complements the transformation strategy of the construction sector. Such a strategic support and enhance the capability of Black-owned SMEs with a strong and deliberate bias to the youth. In the same vein, they welcome the commitment by the DPWRI to create over 1,600 work opportunities through the expanded Public Works Program, EPWP, targeting the vulnerable sectors of society, with a strong emphasis on the youth. The ANC further welcomed the DPWRI as resolved to create 5,000 work opportunities through Program 4, which is road infrastructure. In this regard, We know the department pronouncement to employ 2,750 youth, 3,000 women, and 30% with disabilities. Once again, this conforms with our transformation strategy through which we seek to increase access to work and participation opportunities by the historically disadvantaged and marginalized group within our society. We call on the DPWRA to revise the target on people with disability upwards and ensure that we employ more than this sector. Honorable Speaker, additionally, the ANC appreciated the pronouncement by the MEC to contract over 45 Black-owned SMEs. This also lies at the heart of the sector transformation strategy, through which we seek to enhance the development and sustainability of Black-owned SMEs. Madam Speaker, we welcome the announcement by the MEC to set aside 30% of spending on infrastructure projects to promote women-owned enterprises. We make a call for the DPWRI to increase the number of SMEs that benefit from this budget, especially within the road construction program. The ANC applauds the DPWRI for its consistency in paying approved invoices within 30 days. This will help the province to maintain its status or position as #1 in the country. That time must pay suppliers invoices within prescribed 30 days period. As pronounced by the Public Services Commission Bulletin Report and the National Treasury's 2025-2026 third quarter report on non-compliance with payment of suppliers' invoices within 30 days. Madam Speaker, Vote 9 present an opportunity to rebuild, reset and put our provincial infrastructure, construction and maintenance of a new path side by side with our youth until victory is won. We must indeed reset at 50. The future calls. We must use this budget to celebrate our youth potential to shape this brighter future. The decision we make and the action we take today must have a meaningful and lasting impact on the world that the future leaders of our society will inherit. Let us empower and support the youth to become leaders that we meant to be. Madam Speaker, the ANC also call on the youth themselves to dream big and believe in themselves, to persevere through challenges and setbacks, to always remember and inspire by the resilience and determination of their forebears, and to never give up. I thank you, I thank you, Maurina. Dr. Makrupecha.
Thank you so much.
Amen.
Raleboga. We shall now request and call upon the Honorable Matumi Jacob Lebogo as the next speaker for the debate. Over to you. You've got 7 minutes, Honorable Member.
Erro leboge motlhomphegi modulasetulo wa legatong re tamiše moetapele wa Economic Freedom Fighters ntate Mapoulo le baetapele ba EFF tonakgolo re ya o lotšha le komiti ya gago le ntlo ka moka re eme fa go bolelwa le ka dilo tša gore batho ba patelwa ka matšatši a 30 ke maaka ka gore bekeng tšela tša go feta re ile ra ngwalela ba department kudural gore e lefe batho ba ntšeng ba thomile go lla malapa a thubega ba tšere tšhelete tša bona ba šomela mmušo jwale taba yeo ke maaka mo premier ka ge bo e sego tonakgolo matšatšing a mangwe re bile le komiti e leng gore EFF e tšo stopa taba ya go nyaka go utswiwa ga mašeleng a setšhaba mola go disaster ballooned payments tšentše ba nyaka go di dia bjalo taba yeo re e gomišitše re le komiti ya go bereka tša disaster ka ge re bontšitše gore batho ba tlilo tshwarwa re kwane ka moka re le komiti gore mašeleng a batho ba Limpopo a tla hlomphiwa ebile o tlilo bona le ka labone EFF e tla ba le polelo le boraditaba go bontšhana ka mathata a beng mo Limpopo a e leng gore a diega a mašeleng a setšhaba re tsebiša gape mo re sa tliše metse a ditšhila re tsebiša gore re tlo fa batho ba mola Fengenskraal gauswi le Phalaphala farm ka laboraro re le ba EFF re ilo ba fa metse ka ge re nyaka go bona setšhaba sa rena se phela. Honorable Speaker, go palelwa ga kgoro ye gore e fitlhelele dipuku tše tlhwekileng tša molekodi wa mašeleng e tloga e kweša botlhoko ka ge le kgoro e palela le ke go ukauetša batho bao ba rutegileng le bao ba le setegeniki sa go ka kgona go thuša mmušo gore o tšwele pele bjale taba ya mohuto MEC re kgopela gore le lebelele ka ge le meago le bona e eta ewa le kgoro ye nngwe ya mešomo e tswalela meago ya dikolo le e mengwe bjale e bontšha gore mandate wa kgoro o a pala re kgopela gore le lebelele tabela re letšeng ka yona mo ya thoto e sa šutigo ye le gore le palela ko e audita kudu-kudu le taba ya meago e leng gore e utswitšwe MEC le tšwa lefelong le le tee fela ka molago la Giane ge le boya a re tsebe gore ba tšo le thušetša go ba o diegileng ga le sa tšwela pele ka lenaneo leo le ge re le file diaterese tša gore na ke o mang ba ba utswitšeng thoto tša mmušo e ya mo diatereseng tše tšhelete o be e ka ba e thuša mananeong a mangwe re eme fa re bontšha gore ga re thabiše ke dipeakantšho tše di lokišeditšweng EPWP yenkebe e fa batho ba borena menyetla ga re nambe re kgatlha ke taba ya EPWP ka gore re nyaka gore batho ba rena ba hwetše mešomo ya go ya go ile ba be le di-benefits eupša ka fao le bolela mananeo a lena le ya di-subcontractors tše e leng gore a di fete le 30 goba di 100 e bontšha gore batho ba borena ba ka se be le mešomo se se bontšha gore a le kgone go ba le ponelo pele nto la re bitša gore ke giraffe view e apala mo kgorong ka gore go na le unemployment e kgolo ene kgoro e ke yona e be e tla ba e thuša batho ba borena go make sure gore go ba le mešomo ye mentši di-grants tša EPWP ka fao di berekišiwago ka gona ga re thabe re tshepa gore le mola pele molekodi wa dibuka o tlilo tloga le bontšha gabotse gore dilo ga di sepele gabotse ye re ilwelang premier ye leng gore le ile la e bolela le ge le thoma e be le ya go aga maatla a mmušo ba yona capacity ya mmušo ya go kgona go itirela dilo eupša re bona e sa dirilwe re bona go etswa tendera ka morago ga tendera molanke batho ba borena ba fiwa mešomo ba šoma ka bontši ba aga metse ya bo bona re na le bothata ba gore batho ba nyaka go no dia dilo o ka re dilo a di a fetoga ka le be le dilo di tšhentšhitše bjale taba e tloga e re diela bothata ya bontšha gore dilo di tlhakatlhakane go fetiša mola le be le re dilo di tšhentšhitše. Honorable Speaker, mašeleng tabeng tše tša 2026-27 ngwageng wa ditšhelete department e bontšhitše gabotse fa gore dilo tše ba di bolelang ga di fe hope ka gore e rwa gore dikilomitara tše 15 dikete tše 15 tša dikilomitara tša tsela ya mobu ba ya legwara ke yona ye e leng gore ba tlilo ba lekwišana le yona ka go no e tsošološa wa bontšha gape le gore 50 a dikete ke e nngwe e leng gore ba tlilo no ba e penta-penta bjalo dilo tša mohuto ga di bontšhe go tlo ba le tšwelopele Limpopo le tsamaya mo legwareng le le kakakaka ba o botša gore go tlilo lokišiwa fela tsela ya 31 kilometers goba ka fase ga fao taba yeo e a nyamiša ene ke ntho re e bolelang re re tšhelete ya go tšwa mo meagong e la le tšhabang go etse ya MEC e be tla dia gore batho ba Limpopo ba kgone go ba le ditsela tša maleba batho ba dutše mola ba kampile ka botsotsi le ya batšhaba a ke tse gore bangwe le ba tšhabiša ke gore ke ba ANC go ba go diegang department e na le bothata ba gore meago le tšwelopele e šaletše mo e leng gore batho ba borena ba sa tseba gore ke eng e leng gore mmušo wa e emela le tlo lemoga gape gore mešomo e sentše ba e tlhotšwe ya go lekana 3130 e ka se tloge e tšhentšha maphelo a batho ba borena ka gore batho ba bantši mo Limpopo le a tseba gore ga bana mešomo le bontšhitše fa gore le tlo hira batho ba 30 fela bao ba phelang ka disabilities eupša re tsebiša mo re be re le gopotše re gopetše gore mo legislature go be le motho wa sign language wa o ile e ya pala le fela le re tšhošetša ka yena jalo re gopela gore le ba hire ba be gona gore batho ba borena ko magae le go tlhong ba beng ba kgone go tseba le be le iše ntlo e kgethwa e ye dikhosong tša sign language ka gore ka re batho ba kgone go bona botlhokwa ba taba ya sign language re bolela fa gape re lebeletše gore ntwe ya go se tlhomphe people living with disabilities e dia gore batho le ka magae ba tšhabe go ntšha batho ba bo bona ka gore ba bona mmušo le ona o ja ke ditlhong tša go ba empowera taba yeo e bontšha e le bokobo kudu-kudu re bontšha gape mo gore di-SMMEs tša borena ga di fiwe mešomo menyetla e betše dintšhi e se beng palo yo le e boletšeng mo fela re nyaka gore re lokiše mmušo o re lokiše mathata a beng gona mo Limpopo MEC le sa le moswa mo le gore le ka ba la imela ke mathata na a e leng gore nkebe e gale le ya solvile a e sa le nako ya go tšea dinepe ke nako ya gore re make sure gore ra le fiwa mandate wa go fellela ya implementa ka mokgwa e tshwanetše le budget ba fiwe ditšhelete tša bona di feleletše mo leng gore go tla ba le tšwelopele ya ditsela re tshepa gore le tla lebelela tabe ya gore rale ga e sana maloko a feleletšeng fokotšang taba ya go hira batho ba ANC fela MEC re ka se be le internal capacity ya department state capacity ka batho ba o di bereka o di a amandla ba gorela letšatši ba sa tsebe gorena department ya lena e nyakaeng re kgopela gore re tlo felesetša rena re le ba EFF ba re tlo ra tšea meago ya mmušo ke o file diaterese le gana mo bo Gorobola Street le mafelong a mangwe a e leng gore a sa nka ke ko le buša taba tšeo so re bolela gore tše dintšhi tše reng di gona batho ba e tla mo ba re ga di gona re na le press conference ka Labone re tla botša setšhaba sa Limpopo gore na mathata a beng gona ke ya eng le a tseba le dikomiting re a tla re bolela taba tša gore sentse re lokiše mmušo ke ka fao ke botšang tonakgolo gore tonakgolo komiti ya public works le komiti ka moka ela ya disaster e a šoma e ganane le bo kgwiri-kgwiri bo ntse ba nyaka go bodia ba re ditšhelete šetše di kgopetšwe ko treasury re le di bowe pampiri tšeo re di lebelele ka leswa re tlo tshwariša batho ba tlo tshwarwa ene ke tshepa gore tonakgolo ga o mongwe wa bao ba tlo gokiwang ene batho ba re gane re dia metla e re rialo re ya leboga ene ga re thekge budget ye ka gore ga e nambe e kgatlhiša e tlo tlhabolola maphelo a batho thobela
Ra leboga Honorable Elmarie. Honorable Lebogor Lefeditše o bolela. We now give an opportunity to Honorable Elmarie to come and present her debate. You have got 5 minutes, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Good morning, Honourable Premier. It's good to see you again. Good morning, MECs. All our honourable members, our guests online and also in the gallery. Honourable Speaker, the department's total budget allocation increased from 5.9 billion in 2025-26 adjusted budget to 6.4 billion in 26-27, representing an increase of 8.1%. The DA sincerely hopes that this allocation will be used in full to improve the road infrastructure in Limpopo. For the 26-27 financial year, the department set various targets. Reports must be submitted to indicate which roads benefited from blacktop patching and resurfacing, because we receive various complaints that patching is done and potholes appear shortly after the work is done. The department should intensify the measures to prevent the illegal occupation of government properties and strengthen collaboration with law enforcement agencies to protect state assets, such as a house in Limpopo and the station building in CoGHSTA that is basically now completely dilapidated and on the brink of collapse, and I was there last week. Valuable rental income is lost to the department. As far as the road agency Limpopo is concerned, the entity was established through the Northern Province Road Agency Proprietary Limited and Provincial Road Act 7 of 1998 and amended by Act 3 of 2001. My concern is that in the Strategic Plan 2025 to 2030, on page 8, the accounting officer said, and I quote, implementation of EXCO decision to repeal the RAL Act, MOA and government structures, and I close the quote. What does this mean in practical terms for us today? We are still waiting for the new Act and MOA. The RAL budget for the 26-27 financial year increased from 949 million to 1.46 billion, representing an overall increase of 53.75 compared to the revised allocation for the 25-26 financial year. This ping-pong playing with funding of RAL increased uncertainty about the future of this entity and what the real intention of the department is. The DA notes the planned outputs for 26-27. Records again must be submitted of what was done and which roads benefited. It is also important that the workload be clearly divided between RAL and the department, and therefore the MOA is of critical importance. Some time ago, the DA submitted questions with regard to the number of employees in both the department and role, and it is a huge concern that the questions are not answered as yet. In the budget speech of 12 May 2026, the MEC indicated that in a period of a year and 6 months, 590 new permanent personnel in the department and 42 personnel in role were appointed, and by the end of July 2026, an additional 238 new employees will be added to the staff complement. Further, the department will proceed with recruitment processes to fill another 143 vacant posts. How is it possible that after almost 971 newly appointed employees plus 42 in role, there are still vacancies? This is therefore urgent that the department come clean on what is going on in this election year. It is also time to speak about the impact of mines on the road infrastructure of Limpopo. There are about 54 mining operations active in Limpopo, and the DA is grateful for the jobs. But mines cannot shut their eyes for the disastrous impact the transport of products have on the fragile road infrastructure, especially because their products are non-perishable and can easily be transported by rail. We therefore encourage RAL and the department to explore joint infrastructure development models with the mine that deliver mutual benefit. More so, to find ways to join hands with the National Department of Transport to facilitate joint projects to improve the rail system as it happens in other provinces. Various high-profile projects are long outstanding. The Thoyanda Intermodal Facility, the Mampaka Bridge, and the building of the houses in the Parliamentary Village. We encourage the department to make sure that these projects are finalized in this financial year. Not only is the department and RAL responsible for the roads in Limpopo, there's another vital agency, namely SANRAL. We need to find a way to get reports from SANRAL on the roads under their control, especially as far as the N1, R40, R71 and other roads are concerned. Surely the people in Limpopo must be updated on proposed projects from SANRAL in the coming financial year. Speaker, I conclude. The road infrastructure in Limpopo is not in a good condition. It is vital that this budget is being spent and that each target is reached within each quarter. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Almarie. Will now allow the chair of the committee, Honorable Bukatuche Unechpepe, to come and close the debate. You have 10 minutes, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and greetings to the Chief Whip and the Whippery, Honorable Premier, members of the Executive Council, Chair of Chairs, and your Deputy Chairperson of Portfolio Committees, and all members of the Provincial Legislature, and our distinguished guests. As we welcome the budget of the Department of Public Works, Road Infrastructure and its entity RAL, we are reminded that the allocated money will never be enough. The government is operating under extreme fiscal pressure, while the economy is characterized by extreme sluggishness. It is common knowledge that of the total 19,884 kilometers provincial road network, 13,197 kilometers is gravel, so the budget will never be enough. The demand is huge. The resources are major. Notwithstanding the above, the ANC welcomes the allocation of the large portion of this budget, 65%, or approximately 4 billion rand to be precise, towards investment on the infrastructure, especially road infrastructure. This meaningful budget shift towards road construction, in our view, is at the center of economic recovery and development. We welcome this shift from consumption to investment spending. Madam Speaker, road infrastructure is arguably one of the most pressing issues in the province. The ANC appreciates the effort by the department and RAL to unlock private sector participation in road infrastructure investment. We recall with appreciation the official opening of the state-of-art landmark steel bridge at Hamelekana in Fitahomu towards local municipality during the May 2026. The construction of this bridge was funded by the following 8 mining houses and managed by RAL. The Dwarf Refir, Chrome Mine, Rakoma Mineral Resources, Glencore, Rustenbeck Platinum Mine, Two Rivers Platinum, Samco Chrome, and the Chate Platinum Mine, and the Posendal Platinum. Our province and the country needs roads, infrastructure, and leveraging private sector participation and investment is the fastest way to get there. The ANC heaps praises and thanks to the BS Group for their ongoing investment into roads infrastructure in Blowback and Musina municipalities. We are eagerly waiting for the completion of the D1589 road in Taibosh, Blowback municipality, which is funded by the DBS Group. We also call on the Department of Public Road Infrastructure and RAL to also focus on maintaining and repairing existing infrastructure and acquire new equipment and machinery, especially in road construction. Madam Speaker, while we welcome and appreciate the budget, we bemoan poor track record of delivering large-scale infrastructure projects on time and within budget. Delays, mismanagement, and budget overruns often turn even the best planned projects into physical liabilities. We hope that all the roads construction projects that have been announced will not experience pitfalls of execution, failures, and delays. The ANC calls on the private sector and the professional bodies within the construction sector to also invest in project management and other required technical skills too, and help us to address this chronic project execution failures and ensure long-term infrastructure resilience. Quality roads infrastructure investment expands the productive capacity of the economy and respond to the diverse needs of our people. We urge the Department of Public Works, Road Infrastructure and RAL on their part to address investor concern around regulatory certainty and the contract management and enforcement. Failure to deal with this will lead to private capital flight and hesitation. There must not be any tolerance for inefficiency and underperformance. The ANC sees this budget not as a spending surge, but as a promise of discipline-linked infrastructure investment. The ANC support the department and RAL's plans to create jobs for the most vulnerable sector of our society, women, youth, and the people with disabilities, utilizing public road infrastructure provision. This is a huge source of jobs in construction, engineering, and the related sector across a range of skills levels. Public employment programs are crucial to addressing persistently high unemployment in our province. We also welcome the announcement to appoint over 120 SMMEs in various construction and maintenance projects within the auspices of the department and its agency, RAL. Madam Speaker, today our country is experiencing events that were never seen in a long time. These are the protests and the marches aimed at raising concern around migration and illegal migration. The concern by our people centers around jobs, safety, security, public service, respect for the rule of law, poverty, and access to opportunities. These are not far-fetched concerns that can be wished away. As President Ramaphosa concurred, these concerns are real. They deserve to be heard. They deserve to be addressed. The solution to these problems lies in greater investment in infrastructure, which will lead to the creation of millions of jobs. In welcoming this budget, we urge our people not to be fooled or influenced by social media campaigns that spread misinformation, fake news, and lies about our neighbors, as we raise our concern in all manner of ways. We remind each other not to destroy public property and infrastructure. We are all duly bound to protect our country's critical infrastructure. The ANC therefore welcome and support government's multidisciplinary intervention to strengthen security for all public assets, which include deployment of security personnel at all critical infrastructure. Let me take this opportunity, Madam Speaker, to commend the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure working with the Asset Forfeiture Unit of the National Prosecution Authority for successfully securing a preservation order against people who hijacked or stole government properties in Guyana, worth over 18 million rand. This is the Operation Bring Back Government Property in Action. Operation Wisatundu Yamubuso. This is a noble initiative by the MEC for Department of Public Works or Infrastructure that is aimed at recovering land and other properties, including farms which have been illegally occupied or stolen from the state. The ANC commend the department and other role players for such a steering job and call on the government to fast-track plans to unlock the economic value from thousands of underutilized public buildings and large tracts of state-owned land. We must leverage these public assets to support economic growth, housing development, and fiscal sustainability. We also welcome the support of the department's various other initiatives to increase service delivery. These initiatives include the Her Wednesday, Stakeholders Tuesday, Operation Soha Msumi. The ANC is of the view that these initiatives attest to the department's resolve to speed up service delivery to our people. As I conclude, on behalf of the Portfolio Committee, we move for the adoption of this report and budget for both Department of Public Works, Road Infrastructure, and RAL by the House. And I thank you.
Rolibuwa Bunechpepe. Zwino will take this opportunity and we shall now call upon the Honorable the MEC for Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, Honorable Rachweni, to respond to the debate.
No, thanks very much, Kia Lebora. Yeah? Yeah. Moleko nyanola wa Lebogo ko beti. No, Kia Lebora and Kiches Vagaseki Tamishe. Our Honorable Speaker, Met Dr. Makurupeche, our Honorable Deputy Speaker in absentia, Maurena, our Honorable Premier, Met Dr. Popera Matua, our Honorable members of the Executive Council, Chairperson and members of the Portfolio Committee of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, the WIPARI, all honorable members of the House, Khozo. Ke thome ka go tamisha le go fetola mogolo ke ka mo honorable Maanano Lebogo. ke bontšhe gore honorable Lebo re tsene fatshe re a šoma mogala wa gešo re a tseba gore ba re masogana ga a rwešane dipataka mara fa sona re tsene re a šoma le wena wa tseba mogolwakwe ka gore ge e be re dilo di tšhentšhitše e be re ra gore re no tšhentšhanyana ka mokgwa o ne re rana dilo ka gona as the ANC-led government go swana le gore kwa malobanyana kwane re bone re dira ditsela tše maybe 5 ka financial year. Why? Because ne re dira di-kilometer tše dintši bo 20-30 kilometers to one village. So ra bona gore go bohlokwa gore re di kgaoganye honorable Mapoulo. That is why le bona ka mengwaga e mebedi fela ka se sebaka ke bolela so re dira ditsela tše diswa tša sekontiri mo province ya Limpopo tša go lekana 38 tša di 5 kilometers. Yela re bitša go maintenance ka last financial year re dirile 22, this financial year re dira 44, gore all in all ke 66 ya ditsela tša maintenance. Tše tša disaster tše mogala ba gešo ka gopola re tlile gana mo parlamenteng mo ra bontšha gore re na le issue ya disaster re tlo lokiša ditsela and all that process ya gona re tlo make sure ya gore sepela botse re itsitsenketše mogala wa gešo re ka go ashora gore a o ne e tla go šwahlane le nna re nyaka go bona ditšhelete tša mmušo di sepela gabotse. Honorable Helm, on the issue of MOU by RAL and the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, I can assure you that things are going very well. We had that MOU in the last financial year. Because if you can remember, we have taken a decision to leave Road Agency Limpopo with only function, upgrading of our roads from gravel to tar. We took maintenance from RAL to the department. At that time, we did not have panel of contractors at RAL, at the department, but currently this financial year, we will be implementing from the department. So there's no need for us to be having that MOU. But all in all, things are going very well. Now the department is at unqualified audit and we are happy as the ANC-led provincial government. Let me also highlight that one of key focus areas of the 7th administration, like we always say, is to strengthen government internal capacity. And in the department, we are strategically aligned to this. And we are proud to continue saying to the people of Limpopo that in a space of a year and 6 months, we appointed 590 newly permanent personnel in the department. And also 42 personnel at RAL, which include interns. And all these people are appointed to accelerate service delivery programs, both in the office and on projects, including road infrastructure. Like you said, Honorable Helm, you captured me very well. This July, end of July, we'll be welcoming another 238 newly appointed, permanently appointed staff in the department. And also, ESCO have approved the 2026-27 financial year recruitment plan. So they've given us green light to continue with recruitment processes to fill more than 143 vacant positions. So I just want to assure you, honorable members and the people of Limpopo, that these are not merely jobs, but opportunities for our people to actively participate in the provincial economy while contributing meaningfully to infrastructure development, particularly in the roads infrastructure sector, where the majority of these positions are concentrated. And in the spirit of Youth Month, honorable members and the honorable speaker, just on Wednesday last week, we welcomed 210 young people as part of our skills development program of apprenticeships and learnerships, 210. So these are some of the efforts and strides that are made by the ANC led provincial government. So in conclusion, I want to take this opportunity again to thank our Honorable Premier, Mayor Dr. Popira Machuba, the member of executive councils that are here, and also the portfolio committee, as led by Tatana Vo Katuchelo Nechifefe. Go tswela pele le re support-a gore di dire mmereko o mo botse. Ka issue tše tša infrastructure tše, our things are going very well, Honorable Mapolo. You heard even when we were presenting in our meeting on Friday that at our parliamentary village, we're busy. It's a construction site. We're busy with the pavements there. Actually, we're done with pavements. We're done with security. We have started with our implementation of the 15 houses, restarting civil work. And I know on this one, Honorable Premier, honorable members are calling that I'm very fast in implementing the 15 houses. And I don't know what's the reason, but we are moving. So on the White House, that has been an elephant for quite some time, white elephant for quite some time. We are busy dealing with the issues there. We want to have more boardrooms so that we can have our meetings without any problems. There was a band house there. Honorable members were asking what is happening. We are busy with the band house. Here at the legislature, we have appointed a contractor to do refurbishment for the whole complex. In Guyana, we'll be doing refurbishment in our complex. In Vembe, we'll also be doing a refurbishment in our complex there. So we are very busy. We are shuma. So I don't know shuma ka ditsela fela. Le mo infrastructure mo, we are very busy. So we are trying our level best, Honorable Helm. We came here, we spoke about Georges Valley, that we are going to appoint contractors. We have appointed 3 contractors. They are dealing with our issues there in Georges Valley. So we are government at work. So as the ANC-led government, we will continue giving our people services. And thanks very much for the people of Limpopo for listening to this caring government when they advise them, especially about today's events. We want to take this opportunity and thank the people of Limpopo. Ke a leboga, Honorable Speaker. Khotso.
Ra leboga Honorable MEC Rachweni for responding to the debate. Order, members, order. Order, members, we are now moving to the 7.1.4, consideration and adoption of the following report of the Portfolio Committee of Health. The acting chair, Honorable Mabucha. Honorable Mabucha, acting chair of the committee.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to you, Premier, and your executive, my MEC of Health, honorable members, Chief Whip, Deputy Chief Whip, and the entire Whipari, and backline. I would like to take this opportunity and thank the movement that has deployed me into this legislature and move for the consideration and adoption of the 2026-27 Annual Performance Plan and Budget for the Department of Health. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Acting Chair, you may sit down. You can go back to your seat. While I'm requesting for the second of the report, Honorable Matou.
Inkomo na khensa mfambisani ntirho xipikara xa hina dokodela Makhurupeji. Ni yimela ku seketela leswi va swi vulavuleku mutshami wa xitulu wa xinkarhana tatana Mabucha. Ha khensa inkomo.
Ikensa swinene Honorable Matou for seconding mtshamaxitulu wa xinkarhana. Thank you so much. We shall now refer to the speakers list. Honorable Abednego Bongani Nkonyana. Honorable Nkonyana, you have 10 minutes, starts now.
I will not be distracted, Chairperson, my Chairperson, Honorable Mabucha. Thanks very much, Madam Speaker. You see, I also want to greet her. The leader of government business, of course, Tatan Makamu, Chief Whip, Deputy Chief Whip, okay. The entire whip are led by Comrade Faith, Honorable Faith Bopper. Acting Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Health, Honorable Mabucha, a master's candidate, a master's of vets candidate, members of the legislature, MECs who are here, and our friends from the left. Honorable Speaker, let us take a tour and not leave our friends. I want to congratulate Honorable Smale for being elected as the leader of the DA in Limpopo. Ke re go yena Tate Smale ke nako ya gago jwale gore le wena ba ke mashata go swa le ba bangwe. Madam Speaker, he who has health has hope. And he who has hope has everything. We're told by the former Prime Minister of the island state of Barbados, Abu Faith, Barbados, correct, ne? Geoff Chess. The Portfolio Committee on Health presents its report on the consideration of the Department of Health's 2026-27 annual performance plan and budget. A budget of just above 28 billion with an increase of 9.9% from the previous financial year. As a committee, we undertook this important engagement to assess whether the department's APP programs and budget allocations are capable of responding effectively to the healthcare needs of our people and addressing the service delivery needs and challenges confronting our communities throughout the province of Limpopo. And we welcome the department's commitment to align its plans with government's priorities and improving access to quality healthcare services for the people of Limpopo. However, our oversight responsibility requires us to ensure that plans and budgets translate into tangible improvements in the lives of our communities. During our engagement, honorable members, Honorable Speaker, members raised a critical concern and many critical questions regarding infrastructure development and maintenance, the construction of new clinics, strengthening primary health care services, 24-hour clinics, emergency medical services, medicine availability, human resource capacity, patient experience, surgical backlogs, medical legal claims, digital health records and governance, and financial accountability. Madam Speaker, the committee observed that while the progress has been made, significant challenges remain. Communities continue to experience aging health facilities, shortage of critical healthcare personnel, delays in response from medical emergency services. Madam Speaker, as the African National Congress, we remain guided by our commitment to build a healthcare system that is accessible, equitable, and people-centered. The ANC manifesto places emphasis on strengthening primary healthcare, expanding access to quality healthcare services, investing in healthcare infrastructure, building a capable healthcare workforce as we gear up for the NHI. Madam Speaker, healthcare is not only a service, it is a constitutional right and a foundation for human dignity. A healthy population contributes to economic growth, educational achievement, social stability, and sustainable development. As public representatives, we must continue to exercise vigilant oversight to ensure that every rand allocated to the healthcare benefits, rand allocated to healthcare benefits our people. We must insist on accountability, efficiency, measurable improvements in service delivery. As we conclude Youth Month, we are reminded that the future of our country rests in the hands of young people. The health sector must create opportunity for young healthcare graduates, interns, and professionals. Let me conclude, Madam Speaker, firstly, by congratulating the outgoing Provincial Commissioner of the SAPS, General Thembi Khatebe, who has been with the province since 2023 or so. Brigadier Khatebe has spent more than 30 years in the service, and she leaves the department and the province for retirement. Last night, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Health, on Transport, Mayor Kidiboni Libya, hosted dinner for the farewell function, Yam Mayor Thembi Khatebe. The second last note, Speaker, I want to extend my condolences to the Mahabani family. Mahabani family is located in Waritsi village, Gomakuru Chamah. On Sunday, the 28th, we got news that the family's house was torched, and police are investigating a case of arson. The second incident happened in a village called Tairing in Tunnel 10. A member of the SAPS attached to Soshanguve, around 1 a.m. in the morning of the 27th, on Saturday, entered the home of the in-laws and opened fire, killing the mother-in-law, killing the stepson, and injuring the wife. Later on that day, further committing suicide. I want to encourage, particularly using these 2 minutes, our male counterparts. Let us be humane. Let's have Ubuntu. Let's bring up our boy children in a proper way. In as much as we want our sons to excel in school, have bright futures and careers, it is up to us, father figures, to instill discipline. I challenge every man here in this room, whether from the ruling or opposition parties, to challenge society. Let us cleanse ourselves. Let us filter ourselves as men. Let us judge ourselves. The truth of the matter is that GPV will never end until us men say it must end. It remains our responsibility to love them and guide them. Let us not kill them. Let us love them. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate Honorable Nkonyana. We shall now give an opportunity to call Honorable Lebogo Matumi Jacob as the next speaker for the debate. Honorable Lebogo.
Thanks very much, Doctor. Eish, ke lla le wena monna gešo, ke a tseba hore yang kgelela. Jwale premier tšwele so ha o tsebe hore signal e rwa o reng. Le wena bo nyoko di hore ba ko hore wa leka o ka wela ke le bona. Jwale ke maswabi. Honorable Speaker, the people of Limpopo continue to respect the economic freedom fighters. Hence, they heeded the call and always support the message of unity of Africa. That's why even at the other period, they rejected the July unrest. So we'll continue having peace coexisting with fellow Africans, and whoever commits crime, the law must take its course without favor or any fear. We are standing here, Honorable MEC. We continue calling for insourcing of security guards, catering personnel, cleaners, and everyone who's outsourced in your department. We are further calling for the immediate payment of people who have been acting in positions which are funded, because people have been abused in that regard. It's very important to make sure that the department fights against the increasing botched operations which are killing our people, crippling our people. We don't know whether it's a scheme to increase the medical legal bill, or maybe people are not clear of what they must do in the medical field. Honorable Speaker, the EFF is concerned about the infrastructure projects and backlogs which are delayed in the department, which impacts negatively on health facilities in the province. The infrastructure remains the backbone of functioning society because it drives economic growth, creates jobs, and connects communities for essential services. Infrastructure investment should be prioritized, especially in terms of healthcare requirements, including theaters, and unfortunately in Mangweng and other hospitals, most theaters are not even functioning. Diagnostic services, essential equipment, water supply, and other services are the main requirement for effective patient care. You will know that we have made a call as the economic freedom fighters to make sure that our people don't wait for too long when they must get post-mortem results. And this thing is becoming a serious burden to our communities, whilst you know how we operate as Africans when we have bereavement. So it is costing pain and additional resources to our families. We must make sure that the delayed projects are no longer part of the daily activities which are happening in the department, because they cause serious service delivery backlogs. We condemn, Honorable MEC, in the strongest possible terms, the insensitivity towards service delivery needs of our people by the lazy government. Honorable Speaker, we are also concerned about the ambulance response time. Despite the fact that we have lots of ambulances, people are still complaining about the delays, or not ambulance coming to fetch people in their respective homes. They end up using Uber taxis and so forth. And when they go to hospitals, they are dismissed that they did not come on ambulances. They can't be priority on the list. How many ambulances are in good conditions and are roadworthy? Because most of them, if you check their tires, they should not be on the roads. We have ambulances, but we don't have people or trained people who can drive those ambulances and service our people. So it becomes wasteful expenditure where ambulances are just being bought. That must come to an end. The last time we checked, Honorable Speaker, the procurement of additional ambulances was not adequately supported by enough trained personnel of EMS. Honorable Speaker, the continued medicine shortage at health facilities, we received calls every day, we even informed the MEC, continues the biggest failure of this department, despite the fact that we have a state-of-art pharmaceutical company that is operating there. However, our people are still crying. You need to reduce the waiting time to get medicine, make sure that all the medicines are at the right place at the right time. This means that our people continue to return without help or medicine that is required, and it is costly to go back to the clinics and hospitals to get such medicine. This is a tragic violation of constitutional rights of the people to access primary health care. The department, Honorable Speaker, must make sure that there is medicine consistently 24/7. What is the department doing about the shortage of healthcare professionals and critical vacancies? Because it seems it is becoming a permanent problem. I so wish what they were saying about public works, that young people are employed and so forth. The health department could say that, because most of your personnel is aging and there is no plan to close that gap. The most qualified and skilled people who could be transferring skills to young people are leaving your department, you know, that is a reality, when they should be transferring skills, which creates a serious gap. When is the department, Honorable Speaker, going to make sure that we have a massive recruitment of young people who will be in the healthcare sector? Honorable Speaker, it's important to link training programs with recruitment and placement plans to ensure that qualified graduates are absorbed in the healthcare. Ka gore mo la ona ma-comrade a lena o ruteago ka se bone go na le stampede sa go hiriwa, unlike what we are doing for public works, which is being collapsed by cadre deployment. The EFF is concerned about long waiting times, poor patient experiences, and complaints regarding the attitude of some health workers. They should be trained or be moved from where they are dealing directly with the public. Something drastic must be done to change the situation around Honorable MEC. Health workers must know customer relations care. Equally, delays in accessing surgeries, specialist consultations, and diagnostic services in our hospitals is concerning, and this is further causing problems in our society where primary health care is being undermined. Honorable Speaker, what measurable targets have you set, Honorable MEC, aimed at reducing backlogs and improving access to specialized healthcare services? The increase in medical legal claims against the department is so worrying. Actually, it is going to collapse this government. And we have asked you to investigate what is the cause. Who are the people who are prone to making the same mistakes, who are killing our society? Because batho ba tšhaba go ya dipetlele ba tseba gore dipetlele tša borena bontši di fetogile re buile fela, o ya gore make tlhogo ba o ripa loto, o ya o lla ka dinko ba o ripa monwana, ga re sa tseba gore na go diegeng. Batho ba ile ba re ba oketša population, re encourage re oketše population in a responsible way. Ge ba boa di-operations tše ba ba diama ba encourage di-C-section, ba boa e le gore motho ditho di kgaogantšhitšwe ga di sa le ka mokgwa di beng ka gona. Honorable MEC, that must come to an end. We believe that you will have the ability to fix this situation, which is collapsing the people of Limpopo ba tšhaba go ya ko maokelong le batho ba ko sešego zone ane ba sa emetše clinic. Ga re kgone go hwetša a clear answer ya gore tšhelete eo ya go toga 2010 to date ile kae go ba phuphurile ke mang. Re kgopela thušo go wena MEC. We have been sending these messages, and re kgopela gore le thekge di-implementing agencies. We are not a fan of implementing agencies, mara ge ba re ba implementa di-projects tša lena ga le ba fe mašeleng a gore ba fetše mmereko ka pela. That is affecting service delivery, especially issues tša infrastructure. I thought the premier will be here. Re mo kgopela gore infrastructure ka moka nke e boele mo infrastructure e belongang, le kgone go focusa mo maphelong le dikgoro tše dingwe di focuse on the primary mandate. Re leboga batho ba Limpopo. EFF e tla tswela pele le emela le seke la ngwapana maaforika re batho ba tee, ka gore ge le ko ba batho nka sa kgona go le emela. Ba gešo ba bangwe ba Cameroon, ba bangwe ba Botswana, ba bangwe ba Canada. Na ke ye ka jalo, ke ya leboga.
Re a leboga Honorable Lebo. We shall now call upon Honorable Wilson as the next speaker on the debate. We have got 5 minutes, Honorable Wilson.
Thank you, Speaker. Sadly, the Department of Health is beyond crisis. In fact, it is beyond rigor mortis and is already in decay. We were appalled by complaints this week that patients requiring dialysis were being turned away from public facilities because they do not qualify for kidney transplants, either due to obesity or diabetes or other underlying problems. Dialysis is a life-saving treatment, and to deny any patient treatment is equivalent to giving them a death sentence. Regardless of whether or not patients qualify for a kidney transplant or not, dialysis allows a patient to live a long life with reasonable quality, but they cannot receive treatment, and some of these are parents on whom families are reliant. Since when do we take people's rights to life into our own hands? The case for medical negligence in this matter is huge, and this is a clear violation of human rights. Added to this concern is the crisis in oncology and in particular, the inability to do scans on cancer patients who need immediate attention. Telling a cancer patient that they must wait 3 months just for the scan and then a further 6 months to get the scan results is scandalous. Cancer patients cannot wait that long. Their lives are dependent on immediate care. Orthopedics are just as bad. On the 24th of April, my mother died in my arms. It took 2.5 hours for an ambulance to get to my home. When it did eventually arrive and my mother had already passed, I asked why they had taken so long. They advised me that there were only 2 crews on duty that day for the whole of Polokwane. 2 crews for the whole of Polokwane, Speaker. Yet in the budget of the Department of Health, large sums of money has been allocated to the purchases of new ambulances. Every oversight that this committee has done has found new ambulances at most facilities. And while the ambulances are there are no or insufficient crews to man them. Surely then, the budget for new ambulances, which we have in abundance, should be allocated to ensuring properly trained paramedics. We are well aware that we don't have a training facility in Limpopo, but this money could have spent getting this facility off the ground, or to send potential young candidates to a university or training facilities elsewhere. In the presentation and budget speech from the MEC of Health, there was a lot of talk, but very little in the details. A lot of the indicators in the APP were more compliance-related, but lacked clear guidelines on how issues raised by the Committee of Health on oversights were to be addressed. There were no indicators to address surgery backlogs, breakdowns where budgets for machinery and equipment were to be spent. There were no indicators to address the massive shortages of staff in hospitals and clinics, or whether health facility revitalization grants of 662 million were to be spent and how. Overall, Speaker, considering the dire conditions of every corner of the health sector in Limpopo at present, there was literally nothing in the APPs or budgets to indicate any solutions or improvements. Without sufficient information, there is no ways this committee can monitor progress. On these grounds, the DA rejects the APP and budget. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Wilson will now call upon Honorable Andre Moss as the next speaker. You have got 3 minutes, Honorable Moss.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The people of Limpopo do not judge this department by speeches delivered in this House. They judge it by the long queues, the empty pharmacies, the broken equipment, the late ambulances, and the conditions of the clinics and hospitals they must use every day. The MEC's budget states that 15.2 billion is allocated to districts' health services and district hospitals, while the APP reflects 19.299 billion for Program 2, district health services. On either figure, this remains the largest service delivery platform in the department's budget. The Freedom Front Plus therefore asks a simple question. Will this money reach the patients, or will it be swallowed by bureaucracy, poor management, and political interference? The department reports that Limpopo has 476 primary health care facilities, of which 204 already provide 24-hour services, with another 80 facilities earmarked for 24-hour services in this financial year. A clinic does not become functional simply because the department calls it a 24-hour clinic. If there is no staff, no medicine, no security, and no equipment, then it's not a health service. It's a political label on a broken building. We also note the appointment of 87 operational managers at primary health care facility and the permanent appointment of 2,932 community health workers with matric qualifications. These interventions may improve service delivery, but only if they are matched by real accountability, proper training, and measurable outcomes. The department also states 140 additional ambulances are planned for procurement in the 26-27 financial year. The Freedom Front Plus welcomes more ambulances because emergency medical services are often the difference between life and death. But procurement alone does not save lives. An ambulance standing in the depot does not help a patient. An ambulance without a qualified crew does not save a life. An ambulance that is not maintained becomes another broken promise. An ambulance that cannot be dispatched efficiently is of no use if the person is waiting in pain. Die departement erken self dat medico-eise 'n groeiende risiko vir die departement en vir dienslewering inhou. Elke rand wat betaal word weens nalatigheid, swak kliniese sorg, gebrekkige rekordhouding en voorkombare pasiëntskade is 'n rand wat van klinieke, ambulanse, medisyne en personeel weggeneem word. Die departement praat van alternatiewe geskilbeslegting, verbeterde rekordhouding, kliniese bestuur en gevolgbestuur. Die Vryheidsfront Plus sê hierdie maatreëls mag nie net papierbeloftes bly nie. Indien die departement ernstig daaroor is om die gesondheidsbegroting te beskerm, moet nalatigheid voorkom word voordat dit gebeur. Behoorlike kliniese rekords gehou word, opgetree word teen swak gedrag en verseker word dat pasiënte die eerste keer veilige en waardige sorg ontvang. Mediese regtelike eise is nie slegs 'n regsprobleem nie, dis 'n waarskuwingsteken van 'n gesondheidstelsel wat op 'n fasiliteitsvlak reggestel moet word. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I will now call upon the acting chair of the committee, Honorable Thabo Mabucha, the acting chair. While he's coming to the front, honorable members, I take this opportunity. Yeah. Before you start, Honorable Mabucha, I just take this opportunity to welcome the Deputy Speaker. She's here. You are welcome, Honorable Grace. Over to you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I must say I'm quite elated about the responsibilities that the ANC has bestowed on me. But before I get into issues, I just want to assure members of the Portfolio Committee that have been debating before us that the Lorichenchije. It's no longer business as usual. We are going to work very hard with the MEC and a team to ensure that issues that affect our people negatively, we address them. But I must say, MEC, that indeed, the department doesn't do nepotism. The department has been hiring doctors and a lot of professionals. So we are just surprised as to why it is not recognized that the department has been hiring people. The other issue is that the theater in Mankweng, the theaters in Mankweng are well equipped with the latest technologies. What we can say is that that should spread across all these hospitals, tertiary hospitals and district hospitals. So that's what I would like to encourage members of the portfolio to come with a positive energy. Let us go and work and stop grandstanding. I'm going to write on the protocols that have been observed. Honorable Speaker, the preamble of our Constitution commands us to improve the quality of life of all citizens and free potential of each person. This is not a decorative sentence or a constitutional poetry written for archives. It is a solemn command, a living instruction, and the moral drumbeat of our democracy. Health is where constitutional promise either breathes or bleeds. Health is where the poor either encounter the caring hand of the state or the cold silence of neglect. I rise today with humility in my heart, gratitude in my spirit, and unshakable sense of responsibility on my shoulders. Madam Speaker, Health is not just a portfolio. Health is life, health is dignity, health is the difference between hope and despair. The department has presented a people-centric APP and budget for the 2026-27 financial year. We welcome the 10% in growth of the health vote, 11.3% growth in the equitable share, 3.3% growth in conditional grants, and 58 performance indicators that will guide delivery. We also note that 19.3 billion is allocated to district health services, the frontline public health care honorable law, where clinics, community health care centers, and district hospitals stand as the first shield of the people of Limpopo. But let us be clear, numbers alone do not heal patients. Percentages do not shorten queues, and allocation do not save lives. I must add that public administration is judged by legality, accountability, rationality, and evidence. Good intentions are not good enough because people do not eat intentions. Patients are not healed by promises. Communities are not served by documents that end in boardrooms. Honorable Speaker, the ANC has never understood healthcare as a privilege reserved for those who can afford private facilities and service that must operate only during office hours. The people do not get sick from 7:30 in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon. A child does not negotiate with fever. A pregnant woman does not negotiate with labor pains. An asthma attack does not consult government timetables. A victim of gender-based violence does not suffer according to office hours. A 24-hour clinic without nurses is not a 24-hour clinic, MEC. A 24-hour clinic without medicine, security, water, emergency equipment, and a linkage with the ambulance is not a 24-hour clinic, but a building wearing a mask of service delivery. This committee is going to expect a 24-hour clinic readiness report showing how clinics will operate for 24 hours, 7 days a week per district, with communities remain underserved, what prevents expansion, and what funded turnaround plans exist. Honorable Speaker, it will be an injustice if I don't speak about the immigration and migration issues. We must speak honestly about migration and the pressure it places on public health. We must appreciate the people of Limpopo for resisting the temptation to dehumanize undocumented foreign nationals and allowing the relevant law enforcement authorities to deal with the matter. That is political maturity, constitutional discipline, and humanity. We call upon Home Affairs to expedite the process of enabling foreign nationals who are currently stuck at Bedbridge border to swiftly cross the border and go back to their places of origin before we encounter a humanitarian crisis. Honorable Speaker, no serious state can plan in the dark. Health planning depends on numbers. If a clinic budgeted for 10,000 people, but in reality serves 20,000 people because undocumented and unaccounted movement, the clinic will suffocate under pressure, nurses will be overburdened, patients will wait longer, the ANC-led government will be insulted, and service delivery will be compromised. So we're humbly pleading, Madam Speaker, that Home Affairs must swiftly do their job and ensure that they account for those who enter and leave the country in line with the Constitution. Honorable members, Bafana Bafana teaches us powerful lessons about nationhood. When the boys step onto the field wearing their national colors, South Africans do not ask who comes from which tribe, who speaks what language, or which province raised him. We simply rise behind the flag, one anthem and one team. So, Section 27 of the Constitution is clear: no one should be refused emergency medical treatment. So it's going to be important that we know who's in the country and those people have got the relevant documents, because we can't have a free for all in the country. Everyone that is in the country must be accounted for, because even ourselves, when we go to neighboring countries, we must firstly pass by their home affairs. Honorable Speaker, allow me to deal with my friends in the left. We cannot be fixed, health cannot be fixed by noise, slogans, or political theater. It is fixed through planning, budgets, accountability, and delivery. We must reject and condemn the reckless attack on doctors and healthcare professionals that we witnessed at Mankweng Hospital some few days ago. That is political grandstanding, and it should be condemned by all. Healthcare workers are not political punching bags, but qualified professionals who have taken an oath. Where there is negligence, there must be accountability, but we will not demonize professionals who serve the people under difficult conditions. We will confront weaknesses, correct failures, push delivery forward, but we will not abandon the people to armchair critics who diagnose every wound but have no medicine, no theater, no ambulance, no prescription for healing the system. Honorable Speaker, the Portfolio Committee supports the APP and budget and calls on the House to adopt it as a report of this House. We support it because we believe in public health care and in the ANC historic mission to serve the poor, the working class, the rural communities, and all who depend on public health system. We support the APP and budget because it has taken clinics, hospitals closer to communities once deliberately abandoned, and it continues to invest in district health services, emergency medical services, infrastructure improvement, nursing training, medicine availability, NHI readiness, preparations. Let the budget work, let the APP breathe, let the service reach the people. Nkosi Sinkeleli, Africa. May God bless Limpopo, and may this budget become healing in the hands of our people. Ke a leboha.
Re a leboga. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Acting Chair, Honorable Mabuja. We shall now allow the MEC of Health, Me Dieketseng Mashiro, to come and respond to the debate. Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and greetings to yourself, the Deputy Speaker, Chief Whip, Deputy Chief Whip, and the Whipari MECs present here, the Acting Chair of the Portfolio Committee on Health, together with all Portfolio Committee members and all honorable members who are present here. Honorable Chair, let me respond to the debate. We appreciate the work that has been done by the Portfolio Committee and all honorable members, but without wasting time, I will just go straight to the debate so that I can be able to respond. Honorable Nkonyana, we note the issue of us as Department of Health giving opportunities to young people. That is why we've got our programs, we've got our bursary program that we advertise every year towards the end of the year around September, where we are giving matriculants a chance to come and be part of the healthcare professionals through our nursing program. We also have programs where we have said we've taken our nurses who are already in the system to go and do a course called the Advanced Midwifery, which is happening at the Waterberg campus. And we are happy to say young people have been given a chance. And we'll continue as the department to ensure that we give opportunities to young people, as we know that within the department, we've got lots of aged professionals who are leaving the system, and we have a responsibility to ensure that we prepare the next layer of our health professionals. on the issues that were raised by Honorable Lebogo, the issue of insourcing of our cleaners, kitchen staff, security and everything. We want to put it clear that when it comes to cleaners and kitchen staff, they are already insourced. Those who might say they are not insourced are our PWP workers who are there to augment the staff that we have, but we are insourcing our kitchen staff and cleaners. And as we had said to the portfolio committee, that an assessment has been made to check the possibilities of us as the department being able to insource the securities. And the issue of payment of acting, people who are acting on posts, we are saying all funded posts, people who are acting there are getting an allowance. So we will not say a person should act on a position that is funded and not get allowance. So it is already happening. And the issue of the infrastructure projects that are delayed, the department is working very hard. We are expediting the process so that we can be able to complete them. As the acting chair has already said, our theaters in Mankweng and state-of-the-art theaters, by the way, are functional. We've got 70 theaters that are functional. We have ensured that we check across the province. We've got functional theaters. That is why the budget that Honorable Wilson is talking about, that we are buying equipment, is to ensure that those theaters have the state-of-the-art equipment to ensure that we give proper health services to the people. The issue of a response time of our ambulances, we have noted it because what we were doing in terms of our reporting was that we were only reporting on the P1, which we were doing very well. But now we have improved that through that CAT system. We are now monitoring the P2 and the P3s, which would improve. And we are working very hard to ensure that it improves, because it also pains us to hear when the public is complaining about the delays of the ambulances. When it comes to the issue of the specialized care backlog, we are saying we are continuing to ensure that we do those operations, but we've got our project that is continuing, the Rural Health Matters project, that every month we ensure that we deal with the backlog that we have, because indeed we do have a responsibility to ensure that everyone gets the necessary treatment that they need. Honorable Wilson, on the issue of the dialysis patients, indeed, as the department, we are working very hard. Hence, you have seen us launching the new state-of-the-art facility, where we are saying we are expanding this dialysis program to our districts. We're there at Litaba, ensuring that we continue with this project and will continue to expand, because indeed we are saying we have the guidelines that are guiding us in terms of giving priority to the patients who need dialysis. As the department, we would like to see everyone being able to get the service, but due to the resources that we have, we are forced to then adhere to the guidelines based on the resources that we are having. So we are saying at the moment we have finished with the first one, and then we are busy ensuring that end of August, September, we'll be opening the Litaba one to ensure that we expand the service to everyone that needs it. And on the issue of what Honorable Moss has said, ke go kwele mogalabe ka taba ya gago ya sello sa attitude ya batho ba rena ko dipetleleng. Ke dumelana le wena, ebile re dirile sure re tšea marato go batho ka moka ba sa lateleng molao, ka re ka moka re nyaka go bona batho ba rena ba hwetša di-services tše ba di hlokang. That is why re ya mo maokelong wa rena re rapeletša gore batho ba rena ge ba na le mathata ba re founele, di-number tša rena di gona ka moka mo maokelong, gore re kgone go deala ka attitude e ba hlakanang ka yona mo ditleliniking tša rena. Re tla tšwela pele go dira bjalo. Re nyaka go tšwela pele go assista setšhaba sa gešo, and we have heard you, Honorable Maboja, the acting chair, and indeed when the premier started the term of office, re bile le slogan, and it is still there, gore dilo di tšhentšhitše. Dilo di tšhentšhitše indeed. As we are speaking now, as the department, the challenges that we have had, we did not stop in terms of ensuring that we activate 24-hour service, because we understand that indeed Bulweti does not knock, or will come between 8 and 4, but anytime you should be able to access healthcare. That is why we are pleased to announce to this house that when we were reporting, we said end of December 2025, we had 204 clinics that were rendering 24-hour service. But as we are speaking today, we have expanded. Starting from February this year until June, we have already activated 14 clinics that are rendering 24-hour service in Limpopo. And what we are saying, Honorable Chair, which will ensure that we also invite you, because we have taken a decision that we will do a roadshow, because we are continuing with these 24-hour activations. This July alone, we will be activating 19 clinics in this province to render 24 hours. And what we do, so that people cannot say we came to this house and lie, we have two types of 24 hours. We have an on-call system and we have a straight shift. On-call is where we are saying nurses are there, but when you need assistance, you will get the securities. They will call the nurses to come and open the clinic. They will come and assist you. And we've got straight shift where we are saying whenever you go, you'll find lights are on, nurses are there to assist the people. So we are saying, just to give honorable members a view, we had a challenge where we had a few clinics that regressed in terms of rendering 24 hours. And as we speak today, from January up until now, June, we were busy with them. Shilovana Clinic in Guyana area has been reactivated. Ikaren Clinic in Efitaho Mutubat has been reactivated. Nkomo Clinic in Guyana has also been reactivated. Then, in terms of the new activations, we are talking about clinics that were not rendering 24 hours. They never rendered this service, but now are rendering a 24-hour service. We've got those that are on call, and it's Isleben Clinic, Percy Clinic, Matabata Clinic, Dan Clinic, Rapeshalo Clinic, Practicier Clinic, and Silepe Clinic. And we've got those now that are straight shift. Those Grand Clinic that will be activating, chair will be inviting you and the members of the portfolio committee to come to this Grand Clinic, Markets Flay Clinic, Rietfontein Clinic. Practice here, we are going to move it from on-call to straight shift. It's going to be part, and we are also going to activate Ellen's Doren Clinic, Omarapong, Hlogotong Clinic, Mutsa East Clinic, Kohubukwan. We are also saying on an on-call service hub, and we are going to activate new clinics, Lidwaba Clinic, Stabuswane Clinic, Mampana Clinic, Krom Dry Clinic, Roy Bed Clinic, Mama Silela Clinic, Stark Vatar, Jackal Skull, Riboni, Mahube, Dwellsbom. And we are mentioning these clinics, Honorable Speaker, to ensure that honorable members of the House can visit the clinics to see that indeed that 24-hour service is being rendered. And we are doing this to ensure that we continue expanding service so that we reach everyone. As we have said, that in the constitutions it says everyone has right to medical health care, and we are doing that. On top of what we are doing, we have purchased 125 new state-of-the-art mobile clinics that would be going to those hard-to-reach areas where they are far from health facilities for them to get the service that they need. So indeed, we are saying we appreciate the portfolio committee for seeing that indeed the budget that is being allocated for health is the budget that will improve healthcare services in the province. Thank you very much.
Clinic ya mo tswang MEC wa CoGHSTA a ena
honorable
mebete
members.
le equipment.
Thank you, MEC. Thank you, honorable members.
Clinicing ya bo MEC ba Escopa a gona equipment le ena a ka emella e confirm go Ward 5 ga re eno MEC. Clinic ya gona a ena equipment setšhaba se ya sokola ke le ya tseba MEC wa
Honorable Lebogo, order. Yes. Honorable members, we want to take this opportunity to thank all of you that we have started the debates today. Since last week, we have come to the conclusion of the debates. While we are coming to the conclusion of the debates, I received comments from honorable members that I must send our appreciation to our translators. Hansat, thank you very much. A good job, well done. Ralebo. When Honorable Moss was debating in Afrikaans, they were able to translate accordingly. Thank you so much. We are now moving to the item 7.2, where we'll allow the Chief Whip to bring a motion for the suspension of Rule 173 of the Standing Rules and Orders of the House. Honorable Mukhanyan. Honorable Malvo.
Ke a leboha, Honorable Speaker. Ka pele maybe e be e ba o ka re a disrupta. Be re yo re ke nkuri clinic ya gona metsi le ditulo ke mo tswang o bioscope re a leboha.
Refitile, Honorable Lebogo. Over to you, Chief Whip.
Good afternoon, Honorable Speaker and honorable members of the executive. The whip is led by the Deputy Chief Whip and all members of this August House and our guests in the gallery. Honorable Speaker, House Rule 173 provides that unless otherwise provided in these rules, not more than one stage of bill may be taken on the same sitting day if objection to a further stage is made by 4 or more members. It has therefore become necessary to invoke the provision of House Rule 5 to suspend the provision of House Rule 173 in order to allow the House to finalize the Limpopo Appropriation Bill 2026 B02/2026 today. I move accordingly, Honorable Madam Dr. Speaker, Grace Makurupiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mukonyana. Can I get a seconder to the motion? Honorable Mukonyana, Wipari.
Thanks very much, Honorable Speaker. The Wipari seconds the move by the Chief Whip. I thank you.
Thank you very much. We shall now move to 7.2. Give an opportunity to the Honorable the MEC Mawai to come and present the motion for the third reading of the Limpopo Appropriation Bill, Bill 2026 B02/2026.
Honorable Speaker and Deputy Speaker, Honorable Premier, Honorable Leader of Government Business, fellow members of the Executive Council, Chief Whip and Deputy Chief Whip and the Whippery, Chairperson and Deputy Chairperson of committees, honorable members of the Portfolio Committee on Finance, fellow members of the legislature, citizens of our province, good afternoon. Madam Speaker, the Limpopo Appropriation Bill 2026 B02/2026 has gone through all the relevant stages of the legislative process of this House. I now move that the bill be read for the third time in terms of the provision of House Rule 170. I move accordingly, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. Can I get a seconder to the motion? Honorable Bunachifefe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to second the motion as presented by the MEC for Treasury. Thank you.
Realeboga MEC Magwai. Thank you so much. We are now coming to 7.4, third reading of the Limpopo Appropriation Bill 2026, B02/2026. And we shall now adopt vote by vote of the bill. Vote 1, Office of the Premier. Yay! Okay. Maybe I forgot to remind honorable members that I will be listening to the yay and near. The more the voice, it means it goes that way. I will start again. Vote 1, Office of the Premier. Yay. Vote 2, Limpopo Legislature. Yay. Vote 3, Department of Education. Vote 4, Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. Vote 5, Department of Provincial Treasury. Vote 6, Department of Economic Development, Environment and Tourism. Vote 7, Department of Health. Vote 8. Did I read 7? Department of Health. Vote 8, Department of Transport and Community Safety. Vote 9, Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure. Vote 10, Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. Vote 11, Department of CoGHSTA. Vote 12, Department of Social Development. We shall now adopt schedule by schedule of the bill. Schedule 1, definitions. We shall now adopt schedule by schedule of the bill. Schedule 1, definitions. Schedule 2, appropriation of money. Schedule 3, amounts listed as specifically and exclusively appropriated. Schedule 4, conditions of the appropriations. Schedule 5, authorization of expenditure. Schedule 6, spending before commencement of the Appropriation Act for the 2027-2028 financial year. Schedule 7, short title. We shall now call upon the Secretary to read short title of the bill. Tate Makgopa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This act is called the Limpopo Appropriation Act 2026. Thank you.
I'm watching who's not clapping hands. So you shouldn't be worried when some people say we haven't received the money. So we shall now move. We are saying now the Limpopo Appropriation Bill has been adopted accordingly. Now we can go and deliver services. Honorable members, before I go to the next motion, I just want to indicate that when the Premier was leaving the House, she formally apologized. There was an emergency that she had to attend. We have released formally. We have released her formally, yeah. We shall now go to item 8, motion of reconstitution of committees and its members. Honorable the Chief Whip. Honorable Mkhonyana.
Thank you once again, Honorable Speaker, and good afternoon to honorable members once again. The Rules Committee at its meeting held on Friday, 26 June 2026, considered 2 requests from the African National Congress and the Democratic Alliance to effect some changes on the list of committees of the House. These changes emanate after the recent announcement of Honorable Smale JF as the new leader of the DA in the legislature and the appointment of Honorable Thabo Mabotja as the new chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Health. Having considered this request, the Rules Committee ratified the request and adopted the reconstituted committees of the House and its members. I therefore move for the adoption of the reconstituted committees and its members by this august House. That would mean that Honorable Mabotja is now the chair of Health. I move accordingly, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mabotja, I can't congratulate you until the motion is seconded. Can I call for the seconder of the motion? Honorable Leveya Kidiboni.
Thank you, the Honorable Dr. Speaker. I rise to second a very progressive motion of welcoming Honorable Mabotja as the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Health. Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Mabucha, you are now congratulated on your election as the chair of the Committee of Health with immediate effect from today. Thank you so much. Honorable members, thank you so much. We are now at item 9.
Wenzeni malebana.
Response to the parliamentary questions. We want to indicate that, honorable members, 9.1, the MEC for Health has responded to question 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 15, 24, and 31 of 2006. They are responded accordingly. Obviously, the document has been attached to your documents. Honorable members, we are now at item 10, announcements. Honorable Ngobeni.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise on the protocol that has already been established. I must also hasten to indicate, Honorable Speaker, that indeed success has got many fathers, but failure is an orphan. On Thursday, this house was riddled with excitement. Honorable Smali was pacing up and down, distributing ties. We even sang to some songs I never heard before. I've even seen Helm dancing from this platform. But because Bafana lost, I hear nary a mention of the game between Bafana and Canada. Indeed, failure has got is an orphan. But I think Bafana did play very well, and I think they deserve. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to make the following announcements. One, that when we conclude today's business, we'll reconvene on the 3rd, on the 2nd of July 2026, here at Luwahomu Legislative Chamber. 2, that members of the programming committee are invited to the programming committee meeting scheduled to take place today, which is Thursday, the 30th of June 2026. It will no longer be physical as earlier indicated, but visual at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Thirdly, that honorable members and guests are invited for lunch at the main committee's boardroom. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Raleboga Akensa Tatani Ngobeni. Honorable members, I want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for the good work that we have done since in the morning. We have now come to the end of our sitting, and we are saying this house is adjourned to Thursday, 2nd July 2026, in this Leboa Home Legislative Chamber. The house stand adjourned. Thank you very much.